And we're back into a scene of a murder.
Hooray! Or the flashback scene of a murder?
Still, did not expect this in our freshman year of college.
It was bound to happen. It was either going to be high school or college that you finally get murder.
I mean, fair. At least, Dadel should have actually expected this. He's the child of successful adventurers.
Besides, what's a little murder between friends, you know? Am I right?
I mean, well, the funny part is, somehow, we have still yet to become murderers.
I mean...
Yeah, about that.
I don't know,
I mean...
On the bridge, Iapetus was fully prepared to yeet some magicians, to their demise.
A few did meet their demise.
So then, yeah, murder was committed 100% without remorse.
Murders were committed, but not by any of us, if you think about it. We talked down the Hoblin Goblin. The first group of cultists all killed themselves. The dragon was killed by Misfid. And
oh no, I'm pretty sure Iapetus murked one of those wizards on the bridge with the Chimera. 100% pretty sure one of them was gone.
Two of you murked them.
Yup. No remorse. They had it coming.
It's been a minute since I rewatched that episode. Also, hey, Bubba.
Just remember, the key words are, it's coming right for us. For those of you that know that joke, congratulations, your kneecaps are hurting.
I mean, they do that. Every time I wake up, there's a little... Just, to check the oil, let me know I need to lubricate.
Oh, believe me, I know. I've got less than 3 months until my 30th.
I'm sorry, did you say your 30th?
Yeah. Next year I turn 30.
Sir, my 35-year-old bones are staring daggers.
No, hold on. You're 35? I thought you were younger than me!
I am 35.
No,
Bitch, I'm almost 40. What are you talking about?
Hold the fucking frog's legs for 20 fucking seconds here. Zai.
So
I actually thought you were fucking 25.
Nope, I am 35 years old. I graduated in 2007 from high school.
Not possible.
What the fuck?
Remember how I told you a coworker thought that I was the same age as them? And when I told them my actual age, which was when I actually turned 30, they said, oh shit, black really don't crack?
Okay, no, hold on. I feel lied to, I feel cheated.
What?
Some of y'all, I want to see some fucking IDs on this table right fucking now. I want to make sure that you were all verified. Because I feel like some of y'all are too young.
Dude, my baby picture is in sepia tone. I am not joking.
Oh, I believe you.
I have one of those old school, circular framed, got it done at a mall, baby pictures that have a black and white and then have a sepia.
Man, I miss when people had photo departments.
Some places still do.
I know, but, it feels like a little bit of magic's been lost.
Yeah.
But with that being said, first I want to say, CG will be joining us midstream, so if you don't hear from him, that's why. So Sal's will be politely just, cardboard Sal's for a while. But that being said, who would like to start taking us around the horn, since we did start a little late?
Well, if nobody's going to volunteer, hi everybody, I'm Spoiled Chestnut. I am a figment of your imagination. I do not exist. Do not perceive me. Zai, go.
Fuck up. Okay. I was literally about to type showing you, and then you were like, "Hey, yo, fucking go, man." Oh, well, shit. Well, hi. You can find me on Twitch and Instagram at Zymesite and pretty much everywhere else at Zyme or Zyminess. But that shit gets confusing. Life be difficult. So you can always use that. I have a card. It makes it easy for everyone. Mondays, I'm doing Wizard Sibs with Vaughn on his channel for Resident Evil 6. I believe we started Sherry and Jake's campaign last time.
Yes.
Tuesdays, it's been a little while, but I have some Dark Aeons to beat because CG wants blood. Specifically, my party members' blood in Final Fantasy X. Wednesdays, I still have probably like 16 hours of playtime left for Onimusha 3 Demon Siege because yes, we are going to beat that for spooky season because spooky season is a vibe. It's a way of life. Fridays, fighting games and beat 'em ups. I have no idea what I'm going to do for this Friday. I will get to you guys about that. But if you check those aforementioned channels, that's how you can find out where I'm going to be with that and what I'm doing. And then, yeah, every other Saturday, I'm here with these lovely beans. And speaking of beans, Wiley, you should go.
Hello, you can find me at XWileyWilly on, I guess just Twitter. Wiley is Willy on Twitch, and Wiley Willy everywhere else. I play randomizers and make music. If I usually stream on Mondays, and you can find me on Tuesdays at no, that's where we are. Farting Tar's channel on Tuesdays. Can you tell I just woke up? I also stream every other Sunday with Helix X when we play Zelda co-op. And I have a Ko-Fi and YouTube. I make music there. Bob, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Blue Sky, Throne, Patreon, so on and so forth. That Shadow Dancer Bob. Sundays we've got the Maelstrom. Well, sometime scattered across the weekend we've got the Maelstrom since I'm having to hop, jump, and skip my weekends to trying to do Maelstrom. The Discord game is getting very interesting. I've introduced two of my boss characters, and one of the PCs looked at my boss characters, said nope, and ran the fuck into a monster-infested fog cloud. So I'm probably about to murk his ass right after this. If you're watching this, get ready for the Loop Guru because it's coming for you, buddy. Frost.
Hello, everyone. Twitch, Twitter, JFrost747. Find me, as previously mentioned, on twitch.tv/FartingTart every Monday and every other, well, not Monday, Sunday, and every other Tuesday for both our War of the Shattered Sun and our lovely Rascals in Ravnica campaign. We're going through the mandatory sewer level for our beloved Sunday game. Fuck vampires. Not actually fuck vampires, but, you know, like, beat them to death. And, yeah, on Tuesdays, go climbing up the ranks in the ladder, submitting some police reports in the game, and yeah, things are getting interesting. You can also find me here every other Saturday for this lovely campaign, where I get to be the DM and put all these lovely players into the whimsical and hyper-lethal world. Barring that, you can also find us coming up soon for other things. But besides that, yeah, everything's looking pretty good. Everything's looking pretty nice. It's all roses. It's all cheeky. It's all happy duty, hunky dory. Nothing bad ever happens. But that's it for me. I believe that's Vaughn.
Yes.
Just left.
Hi, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Blue Sky over at Burnout Vaughn. You can find me on Patreon over at Burnout's Bar. This week is going to be a little all over the place because, yes, we do have Wizard Sibs on Monday. I'm not sure if we will have No Love War Extra on Saturday because both I still have to recover data for CCC, as well as we might be down a person. So I'll try to keep you posted on that as things come along. There will be no Those Who Wander this coming Sunday, but on the 17th, myself, Citric, Alpha, and possibly Zan will be doing our first one-shot, where we have no idea what it is. We just know that it's completely timed out to go the entire length of a stream. So that's going to be fun. So look forward to that. And with that out of the way, it's time for me to play our lovely theme song from X Wily Willy. So let me press that button.
Saying the vampires are hot though.
There you go. Behold, Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Wow.
It was an official Chuck E. Cheese stream too. Back when the companies were getting their hand at streaming.
Fucking everybody has an anime mascot. Even the fucking church has an anime mascot now.
You
Also,
leave
hi,
Lucci
Vaughn.
alone. Lucci is a good little bean. The power of God and anime is on the church's side now.
You don't want to know the shit that got said to Tony the Tiger when he was a VTuber.
Look,
I have an idea. I know what furries do.
Oh.
I can already... This is probably funny.
Alright, are we gonna start now?
No, we're just gonna fuck around for a while and not even play D&D.
Yeah, sounds like a plan to me. Alright, well...
God.
Isn't that technically what we usually do? In character?
Yeah.
And out of character. So, how about this? How about... Who wants to recap?
Nah, I'm good.
What the
1, 2, 3, not it.
You know who has never done a recap?
Who?
Frost. You recap.
Hey.
I'm the DM!
Who's ready to travel back in time a month?
Okay, you know what? I'll do it. I'll give the cliff notes. I'm gonna give cliff notes to everybody. Allow me to play some fucking music. I'm gonna play the standardized school music. Oh, thank God, it actually works. Last time on Saved by the Spell, over a month ago, in time, who knows how long that's been. Time's a fucking construct, man. It doesn't exist.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion. Much like, free choice and, saying you'll quit Dr. Pepper. You never quit Dr. Pepper. You'll go back to it one day. But our dear students / adventurers are kind of following up on trying to figure out more of the mystery that was the death of the Madame. And of course, hopefully get back against a certain dickweed vampire that thinks shit's sweet. After meeting up with a beloved, quote-unquote, illusionist of renown, party kind of was able to do a little bit more unique investigationary work. Of course, it did require a lot of brain power, having to quite literally traverse the memory lane. And, most importantly, look around. See what's missing. Of course, things did start to come piece together as eventually some clues turned up. With the most shocking being an imprint of a face. Of a being that has been known as a soul harvester. We will be picking up at that moment. Let me take the school music off and let me put on some chilling music. Is this the right one?
It's ominous. I'm not sure if it's chilling yet.
Yeah. There we go. So yeah, we are picking up where we last left off. Currently, your dear friend here, your beloved friend who, inspiration goes to whoever can give me their name.
I don't even remember him giving us his name. Oh, wait, so no, it was Seamus, I want to say? I know it's something Irish.
You would be correct. Seamus. Please mark down inspiration.
Okie dokie. I'm sure I will waste it.
Believe me, I have one inspiration for one of my campaigns. Seamus is currently on the floor, kind of still looking up at that icy imprint. And he is not looking too happy. In fact, he's kind of looked like he's seen a ghost.
At which point Dale's just say, "What's that?"
That's an imprint. And he gets up. Horse! By the fiery blood of Christ!
Dale's just go, "I know what an imprint is. I mean, what is a soul harvester?"
Oh. Oh, alright, lad. Alright, lad.
All right, so who's recapping?
I
Frost
think
recaps.
I was gonna say I think Frost did it.
Okay, I wasn't sure if he was being silly or if he was being
No,
serious.
I literally recapped.
Okay.
Frost
My
recapped,
apologies.
and we've shifted it into the game now.
Subtracting inspiration from Belky.
I didn't have any in the first place, so fuck you.
Cool,
Oh, fuck, you
owe
got
me
inspiration debt now.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
no.
in debt. Sucks
I
to
mean,
suck.
I do still have a D100.
Not anymore.
What do you mean not
Now
anymore?
you have a D92.
That's
You have
not
a
fair.
D90. You have a D90.
That's not fair.
I'm just fucking with you. But Seamus is currently looking up going, alright. That, and he points to the imprint, is a creature that I don't want to be around. Gives the sting of death all over. And you watch as Seamus actually pulls out his flask and he starts, pops, and drinks. Heavy.
Iapetus can only see him drinking.
Yes.
Because if I recall, since we were outside, we couldn't see the image from the inside. So like,
Yeah, you cannot see the image from the outside.
she's like waving like, guys, what? We'll grab classmate and like come back in to find out what the hell happened.
Alright, I will move you and Salas, played by the wonderful cardboard CG Ghost. In. Goldblum, are you still remaining outside? Stoic as always. Goldblum shall remain outside.
Guys,
Oy.
what is that?
That you actually watch Seamus actually back away, and he is as he's drinking, and you see him like performing what can only be described as an actual like the sign of the cross.
So basically, him almost kind of repeating the slight hand ritual he did when he first saw it.
Aye, he is
Okay.
doing that. He is doing this fast paced as he is backing away, going, "Oh no 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 no! Do not like, do not like."
So I'm going to assume, obviously, that's not sweet, but why is there presumably a dead person in this reflection?
That's not a dead person, lassie. That is the thing that ferries you from being a dead person.
Oh. Oh, that is very different.
And he looks very uncomfortable now. In fact, he looks to you all and goes, "I'm gonna be real with y'all. You've got this is kind of a little bit out of my wheelhouse, and I do not like that. I've had already one bad encounter with those things. I suggest you go to a library and read up on them if you want more information, because and you like this man is shivering, looking at just back to the point where eventually you watch as he actually snaps his fingers, and that section of the building right where the imprint is, that's gone. Like he is covering it up.
Gotcha. Uh, if she wanted to roll to try to figure out how that could possibly relate to like the frozen footprints in the grass that we found outside, what would she have to do?
This would either be a Arcana or a Religion check with disadvantage.
Roger that. Come on, character sheet. Let's see. You said Arcana or History, right?
Correct. With disadvantage.
Okay. Uh, just in case, is there a spot where I should click to make it as disadvantage, or will it just do it on its own?
Uh, if your sheet does not have the thing where you can toggle advantage or disadvantage, I'd say roll twice and
Okay.
take the lower number.
Gotcha. I derp. So I
Double
guess it
14s.
did it double 14.
I'm going to say, unfortunately, you're not going to get anything with that roll. The
Gotcha.
name, I mean, like, it kind of just sounds like it is what it is. Soul Heart.
She'll just furrow her brow, and that's something for her to note for later.
Yeah, Seamus. He goes, "I do not like this place anymore. I hate this place. I am. Oh! By the blood.
It's literally the scene of a murder. Why are you surprised that it's been here?
Because normally they don't leave an imprint. They just do their job. Hell, the fact of the matter is, the last that died here, there's nothing for that thing to take. There's no soul. She died of soul fire, yeah? Aye?
Yes.
So the soul's gone.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why the imprint is there? Looking for something that it was expecting to pick up?
I don't know. And I don't want to know.
That is fair.
So I think if you all would not mind, I think I'm gonna get rid of this place now.
I think I'm fine with that. Lucy, you got what you needed, right? The notes?
Yes.
Okay. Let's make our way out, probably.
He's actually gonna just motion to you all and go, "No need. I'm gonna drop the spell." And give me just a second as I shift the map. Do. Shifting maps. God, there's a lot of maps. Alright. Hopefully this should come up for all of you.
Yes.
I see it.
Alright. So yeah, you all are back in the destroyed house. I'm sorry I couldn't help you out with that. I can only do so much. I wish the best of luck to y'all. But I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. I'm not dealing with that shite.
Thank you for all of your help. I'm sorry you had to deal with seeing that.
It's all good, lass. Happy hunting. And you watch as he comes over to this destroyed section of the house. And you watch as he minor illusions a door. He opens it up. There is what appears to be a town. He steps through and just closes the door. And the door disappears. Alongside Seamus.
Huh.
Well, we got whatever we could get. I suggest we all just stay at the hideout tonight. It'll be easier and less distance to travel.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, those
What?
are just... Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask, what time of day is it approximately? Because I know we had the meeting with the dean and the funeral and this, so I guess what time is it?
It's getting late.
Gotcha.
It's definitely getting around evening time. Considering the fact that you all are... The sun is starting to set. But you do have information. And I believe you all, and as one of you has stated, you do want to return back to the hideout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If that is the case, is there any objections? Is there anything you guys want to do before you turn in for your hideout night?
I think the only thing Iapetus would do is go back up to zooming out, sorry. She'd probably go back up to that area over there to see if those footprints are still there, like the frozen ones. And if so, make a note of just the fact that it still persisted, so it may or may not be natural if they're still there.
Iapetus, go up, move your token up there, and roll me an investigation check.
Okay.
Normal.
Character sheet, give me strength. 14, no strength, only sad.
You go back up there. There is some frost, but it's more like... How do I put it? It's more like, oh, what is it? I don't want to say tundra-ish.
As
It's like
in,
permafrost.
Got you. So
Like,
so when we saw it before, it was kind of just frosty, but now it's actual thick ice.
More akin to, it was frozen dead when you first saw it. Now it's kind of melting frozen dead.
Gotcha. Okay. Does it appear, with that roll, does it appear still very unnatural?
It is quite unnatural. Like there is no
Noted.
life underneath where the footprints are.
Noted. She will regroup and follow party where they go.
All right. If that is the case, I will be moving our map back up to, I'd say, back up to the central campus. You all are returning back to the hideout. Anki is currently at your hideout, and he seems to be like tinkering with like a couple wind-up toys. And he does notice you all, and he goes, "Hi, how you all doing? I made some toys. What do you think?" And he holds up one of them, and it looks to be like a wind-up horse.
How much time would it take you to make a ring of non-detection?
Gonna be quite a bit for that one, lad. Requires a lot of resources that I don't got.
Oh well, then there's this, and he'll just throw a thing of diamond dust in his face. Non-detection.
Lad, can you at least give me a heads up? I got no problem with you doing that. But it gets in me beard. And me nose.
Daedalus will not give him an answer. He's just going to walk into his lab and start retranslating these notes again, because right now, he is the only person that can read them in the party.
Copy that. If I remember correctly, I believe Belky was not present for the investigation, correct?
No.
Probably not.
No. Belky, you're still out. Would any of you have sent a message to Belky?
Given that Afira basically set out the funeral with Belky and basically wandered back, Afira would have probably either let Belky know where she was going or at least sent some kind of a notice to her.
Okay, what would this notice have been, if you don't mind? Just keep it like... Make it as short or as long as you want.
It basically would have just been a notice, a basic heads up about Morg leaving, and that everybody's being called towards the. There was a meeting of the group that was collecting at that particular point, and then probably after we were either going to go back home or go to the hideout, one or the other.
Okay.
Alright.
Then Belky will make her way to the hideout to check there first.
Alright. Belky, you do make your way to the hideout,
Okay.
and I'd say you probably get there like 10 minutes after everybody else does.
Okay.
Anki's kind of working on some wind-up toys. Daedalus kind of working on his own thing.
Okay.
What is everybody else doing, if you don't mind me inquiring?
Well, seeing the oh, I'm not there yet.
You would have gotten there.
Oh, okay.
But I would like to know what everybody else is currently just doing at this time. Are you taking it easy? Are you working on anything?
Since we're basically kind of turned in for the evening, Iapetus might take a moment to actually ask Anki what he knows about harvesters.
He kind of... Alright, so allow me to set the scene then. You would probably have approached him And at first, just because you said harvester, he's gonna go, well, depends. What are you talking about? Are you talking like grain harvester? Are we talking like a gem harvester? I mean, there's a lot of harvesters. I mean, you gotta be specific, Lassie.
Yeah, what you on about, Red?
Soul harvesters.
What?
Soul harvester.
Yes. We're
Those gruesome things.
Like
I've
devils?
got- Mm-mm. They're... And he kind of, like, purses his lip a bit. They're a weird bunch. They're celestial, but they're not celestials. They're like the neutralist version of a celestial. Think of like a... Are you familiar with the tale of the Grim Reaper?
Vaguely, but I'd be fine with you filling me in on the details of it. It's not a commonly told story where I'm from.
Well, there's a lot of different interpretations from each cultures and everything else. They all have different looks for people, but predominantly imagine looking at a creature that basically is dressed in funeral garments. They look like they're people who basically prepare a body for its final rest. Except the thing is, they don't want to be seen unless, they decide they want to be seen.
Huh. And could you think of any reason why they would want to be seen?
Well, normally they're only seen by those who are dead. Like souls. And that's for the obvious reason, because they're supposed to ferry off into the next life. Whether you be going up, down, left, right. And he starts making random directions. There's a whole bunch of different extra planes of existence, especially for a soul. The only reason they would ever physically show themselves is because, well, either somebody done screwed up something and they decide to make their presence known, or somebody forced them to.
Huh.
Normally you never see them. Until, you're already... And he kind of just like a hand motion across his neck. Not really much of fighters either, but nasty pieces of work. They do have capabilities.
So it seems like they are, for the most part, only there if they have a job that needs to be done, but otherwise pretty much are hands off?
Mm-hmm. Aye, that's right. Soul harvesters are basically they're basically just taximen, really. They come to anyone who's dying. If it's their time, they give them the old touch of death. Soul severed. Ferry off into the next life. If you're not supposed to die, well, you might get a little bit back to being brought to, life. But...
So what happens when there's no soul to retrieve?
What? You're talking with the soul fire?
Mm-hmm.
That's a curious one. A soul harvester is there to basically do their job. If they can't do their job, that's an upset in the natural order. Nobody likes an upset in their, task work.
Fair enough. I imagine we could understand that.
Usually that gets a file. Don't really understand them all that much. They keep to their own. It's like I don't want to say a cult. A cult's not the right word. It's like a
It's
like a
kind of like
big-
an agency, maybe?
Aye, agency. Nobody know, but I don't know who they file it to. Soul harvesters are, again, unique. They're celestial, but they're not. They don't answer to any god. They're just there.
Hmm.
All I know is they're just the force of death itself. I mean, there's a lot of gods of death, but no one really holds the title of death. Singularly. They don't
I
answer to gods of death either. They just take them and send them on their way. Like I said, taxi service.
I guess that makes sense given technically the depth of death itself. It'd be hard for just one entity to control all of that,
Aye,
as it's more of just a cycle than anything else.
aye, that's right. Death is a weird concept. It's like time. There's really no god of time. You got divine beings who can try to claim a dominion, but there's no god of time.
Hmm.
Or at least that's what I've been told. Again, I'm running off of information that kind of says, and he kind of juggles with his hands, contradictory. I'm on the other side of the veil.
No, that makes sense. If if you have an agency that essentially does a job, you wouldn't want the people at the ends of the job, so to speak, to have all the ins and out because it's kind of on a need to know basis.
Plus, I've been down. I've dealt with enough crap as is. It's just, ugh.
Makes me wonder though, given what we spoke about previously, at your home, that raises the question, who, if they're reporting what's happening, then I guess how many souls would have to disappear before it becomes a problem, given what we've discussed prior?
Well, lass. Well, it depends. Soulfire is a very dangerous thing. That's why it's a very hard to control force. I mean, there's very limited numbers of creatures that can even wield the damn thing properly. I'm one of them. Barring that,
Hmm.
if one person dies to Soulfire, I mean, okay, that might be enough to log a report, but I don't know what else.
Above game, I'm trying to remember whether or not Salus actually told the rest of the party in front of Anki about what happened to Melf.
He did.
He did.
Okay. So then, in character, she'd say, yeah, if it's just one, then it might be logged, so to speak, as a shit happens, but two within a few months of each other on the same campus might start to raise the eyes of whoever the harvesters are reporting to. I asked all of this because we didn't personally encounter one, obviously, but we've seen that someone else probably did. Like we saw the imprint,
Imprint?
like a
That
flashback, so to speak. Yeah.
you can't. He kind of thumbs. Imprint shouldn't be possible. They don't like revealing themselves, even to whoever's gonna die, until, it's necessary. You might want to read up on that. Again, I've only got so much information stored up in my noggin.
Yeah, I definitely intend to look or to do some digging if I can, maybe in the biblioplex tomorrow, but I figured it wouldn't hurt to ask, given that, like you said, you're kind of on the opposite end of the factory, so to speak.
I'm hoping y'all are alright. Soul Harvesters. Never really dealt with them myself. Only heard stories. But do be careful.
I still appreciate it. And like, if she sees any of the diamond dust that her brother fucking threw on him, like in obvious places, like maybe on his beard or hair or something, she will like gently just brush it off. Also, sorry about that.
It's alright. I understand the purpose. Just he kind of pulls out a rag. He's like, kinda would like it not to be in my throat.
I'll try to ask him to be a little bit more mindful about it.
So, let's see. What happened and what brought this on? Why are we looking at like soul harvesters?
Apparently your friends saw an imprint of one.
Is anyone else like present for this conversation other than myself and
Yeah.
Belky with Anki? Just want to
I think
make sure.
everybody should be here.
Salus is.
I didn't know if they were faffing about, like,
For
working on their own
clarity's sake,
thing.
I'll put this. Salus, because CG is not here, is probably working on more of, just relaxing.
Researching books.
I do know one of our party members is currently working on some stuff of their own.
And I'm in a different room, too, so...
Yes.
Alright, so then, yeah, it was...
2 members. What about Afira and Goldbloom?
Afira is probably off to the side, probably still absolutely drenched and not looking very happy, but she's probably tinkering with her gauntlets at the moment, and given that the gauntlets are off, she looks almost deflated from what she normally does.
Fair enough.
Noted. Right.
So, yeah, Belky will ask Iebsis that, essentially.
Okay, so then... basically, so... words, sorry. Okay, so... well... After the funeral for, the madam, we were told to essentially go to her house as, Naylock had something, I guess, he wanted us to see. Specifically that I guess he wanted Daedalus to see, but like that all of us probably should be there for.
Okay.
And there was a gentleman there that had the ability to essentially... The best way I could describe it is it seems like he could feel a room or the remnants of a room or place quite literally if it was mostly inorganic, and then be able to recreate it to a moment prior. So essentially he was able to recreate the madam's home right up to the point right before Sweet destroyed it with her inside.
So it was like an illustration.
No. It was like we could physically, everything was back in its place. We could physically touch everything in the house.
Wait, you could touch it? So it wasn't like major image?
No, not at all. It was some pretty powerful magic. I couldn't quite grasp the level of it,
Oh shit!
but
All right.
it was really taxing on the guy. And after he essentially recreated it and was holding the recreation up for us, we kind of looked around the property. We were also looking for some notes,
Mm-hmm.
and we found notes, but we also found some really unnatural ice and signs of death around the property, like decay.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And
What was
at
decayed?
well, so for instance, imagine seeing a lush, like, green field, and then
Mhm.
out of nowhere, a patch of death. Like, it looks like something stood there, and where it stood, everything within that small radius of it died. That's basically what we found outside of her house.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
then Daedalus and Aphira and what was his name? His name was Seamus. That was the guy who helped us. Daedalus, Aphira, and Seamus and Goldblum ended up seeing what I now know to be the imprinted image of a soul harvester on, like, the reflection of the window in the house, but you could only see it from the inside.
Hmm.
And I don't really have a lot of familiarity with that, so got some things to research.
Would Belky know anything of like the general stuff, dying devils, soul harvesters, any of that from like her dad?
I will say soul harvesters, no. That's actually something that's never really been talked about.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. Um while she looks like she's kind of half in thought, she's also looking around for, like, a towel or something, or something where she could maybe start a small fire in, like, a quote fireplace if we have one in here. She sees a big cat friend that needs to get dry.
Aww.
Do we have anything like that in here?
I mean, you got him. Anki's making a forge. He
Yeah.
has, like, his fire going.
Does it look like there's a little chair or something like that near there? Like an extra one?
Do you want there to be a chair?
I mean, she will drag one if she can, not in the forge, obviously, but
Oh,
like...
yeah, no. Don't go in the fire. Do not
But,
go
like,
in the fire. The fire is not a friend. The fire is not good.
but like a little closer, just to, because she can, that way she can bring Afira over to it and like try to help her dry off.
I think Wiley's already handling that.
Goldblum is going to air dry the kitty.
If Wiley got it, then she'll just look for like a towel or something, because
Of course.
she understands wet fur.
Yes. So you will. God damn it! I hate the fact that I picked up on that.
Heh.
But yeah, but still, you can probably easily go grab like something like a cloth to dry off. Afira, you are being warmed by a produce flame that your beloved giant of a friend Goldblum is currently producing in their hand.
Let me do something real quick. I'll say DC 10. She doesn't
Okay.
notice.
Hey, pussycat.
Yeah.
You're lost in space, and I don't want to have to pull you out of the bag of holding again. What's up?
Working on something.
Uh-huh.
Bullshit's been happening lately. I need to make sure we're
Yeah.
prepared.
With?
With everything that's been happening. Every single time we turn around, some bullshit happens. And it's always something that we almost can't handle. So I'm making sure that we have an edge on that situation.
And how are you going to make it so we've got an edge?
As she's talking, she lifts up, she digs into the very heart of the gauntlet as she pulls out what looks like some kind of a small gem that looks like it was it's been cracked somehow, and she looks it over for a moment. She turns, tosses it to the side as she digs into her pouch, and she pulls out a star rose quartz that looks a little bit familiar to those that were paying attention in the desert. As she looks it over, and she grabs a nearby chisel, and she grabs a nearby hammer, and she goes to work putting in what looks like a number of glyphs and runes on it. Call it a safety measure. If we have to, if we have to make sure that we need an escape, I want to make sure that we have an escape. And she puts it into the gauntlet, and it looks like she's working with the gauntlets. It looks like she's tinkering with it. She's working on it. Anybody that wants to anybody that chooses to, that's specifically paying attention to her, can roll an Arcana check if you like.
Sure.
I'm drying her off, so yeah. $18
20
for me.
She's dealing with something, the arcane runes that she's dealing with specifically. Belky, you would probably have the most experience with this. The arcane runes that's being put onto this gem specifically are the runes of fire. A number of... It looks like... Iapetus, you are able to detect that you're able to piece together a couple pieces of the runes that she's putting onto not only the gem, but the gauntlet itself. Looks like it's runes that are meant to recognize a command. And Belky, you're able to recognize a couple runes that you're able to piece together are fire and combustion.
That looks a little heated there. You gotta be careful playing with fire.
I could, but I don't know. Something about fire that just draws me in. As she glances over her shoulder, there's the slightest little bit of a smirk.
There's an eyebrow raise of like, now, really?
I mean, Belky, you should have probably seen that one coming.
Yeah, probably. I just thought we were having a serious conversation, but you know, like...
We are. I mean...
Alright.
I'm good at multitasking.
Can I insight to see if there's anything else about Afira's maybe behavior that might suggest it's not just
Go
just
ahead.
what was said?
Oh, all right. You heard it here, Afira.
Because she also didn't seem okay when we were investigating the house. So
I only have one question to ask.
Yes.
Asira, are you wanting to put up a front?
Yes, she is absolutely putting up a front.
Please
Shit.
roll. There is going to be a compete. An insight versus a deception check. 20
Fuck
deception.
me! Mother! Fuck!
And the 14 returns!
Damn, the 14 is back with a vengeance.
Above game, the flirt is a ruse.
So that's all she can pinpoint, right? Or in game, can she pinpoint that there's something else, but she doesn't know what it is?
I will say, Belky,
because
you know for a fact the flirt is a ruse, because when you started talking, her focus was entirely on the gauntlet, but as soon as you started talking, there are very subtle shifts in her mannerisms. And it almost looks like she put on the proverbial mask of how you would expect her to act.
Yeah.
To try to put up a front. There is something definitely going on right now. Goldblum, yeah, you're probably aware of this too. There's something else going on.
So just to clarify, with a 14, did Abatus just not pick up on anything?
With a 14, you saw that she was super focused, but then the flirting came out, and that's normal.
Okay.
Indira, Fira flirting, that's like them breathing.
Fair. Okay. Because basically she was wondering if Afira was still feeling down about something based on what she also witnessed outside of the madam's house when she was when Ibis was trying to keep up with her. Gotcha.
Well, I know sometimes working on something can help us get through stuff, and boy have we been dealing with a lot of it. I mean, as long as you're okay, Afira.
I'm as good as I've always been. And she gives a smile.
Above game, press X to doubt.
You already press X to doubt. You failed that QuickTime event.
Yeah, you did.
That's why I said above game.
Yeah.
In game, favorite cat is perfectly fine.
Belky will remember this.
And nothing can go wrong.
If you're working on fire stuff, let me know so I can help mitigate a little bit, just in case things start to go off, and we don't need to burn the house down again.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. The last thing we need is this thing going off early.
I like to have me on your mind.
Oh yeah?
And she'll just walk away. Are you okay? What the fuck was that?
I dropped one of my fidget toys.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
good.
was worried something happened to you.
Willie, you rolled insight for Goldblum. Is he still standing there?
Yeah, basically drawing you off. Whether you notice or not.
Goldblum, for the slightest moment as Belky was walking away, even though for some reason Afira doesn't notice your presence, which is so normal for you, you see that smile and that mask slip away, her face go back to what it was before, and she continues working, almost like she doesn't even sense your existence there, and she's muttering certain things. Given your proclivity to just be there unnoticed, you catch more things about her muttering to herself. What would you hear while she's just talking to herself? You get the words last resort and escape. You hear the words last resort and escape as she's muttering to herself while working on this device. And that's all that you get while she's working on it.
I will continue to stand so incredibly still. Nobody can see me.
When it seems like a fair is all dry, by the way, like, but this will put the towel like somewhere near the fire so that it can also now dry.
When she's dried off, her fur is almost, she's like a standing small puffball. Like all of her fur is like on end. Like static cling on a cat.
Oh, I'll be right back. And like, Iapetus is gonna go like grab her bag from probably like a shelf or something that's in the hideout and like dig through it to see if she can find like a brush.
Okay.
So that she can come back and then you want some help? And she like holds up the brush. I kind of know the feeling. But
I'll grab it after a while. I appreciate the offer. Goldblum, as soon as Iapetus came up, that mask slipped back on.
Okay. Well, if you need it, I'll leave it here with you. But yeah, I know some places can be like hard to reach, so just let me know. I get it. Mad at fur or static cling fur sucks.
Right between the shoulder blades is probably the worst part.
Yeah. Yeah, that and the hind leg, but that
Yeah.
Well, and she'll like if she doesn't want to put it in a Fira's way because she knows she can see she's working on something. She'll like maybe put it either on her lap or like right next to her where she can see it so that she can use the brush when she's ready to. Just call me over if you need any help.
Will do. Thank you, Iapetus.
And of course. And she'll have like big smile. And she will go walk off and I guess check on her brother.
Alrighty. Iapetus, you walk away from your friends to go check up on your sibling who is currently in their office.
Lab. And it's a collab.
Lab. Lab office, you tomato, potato.
You could hear the glasses push up and the actually.
Okay, that's funny.
To be fair,
okay,
it's
that's
actually
funny. You know what, Zai? I give you a standing clap.
Well, the funny thing is that it's not just a lab; it's also a kitchen because it's part of Indare's space too, and also technically an engineer station because it's also Indare's too.
So what you're saying is we have a home econ like station in the hideout.
Half shop, half home economics. Yes.
You have FCS class in this building. You have family consumer science in this building.
You literally walked like 40 feet away. And now you're dealing with Daedalus and trying to get past his mask. Good luck.
Ah, we love it here. But yes, you walk into this little section of the hideout.
It's like a spirit Halloween in here.
You have no idea how funny that touches my heart. Speaking of which, we do support Spirit Halloween for all the charity work that they do.
Correct.
Spirit Halloween does charity work.
Yeah, 90% of their profits are charity.
Oh fuck, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Oh, yeah. I'll show you a video. It's by Fat Electrician. But anyways, back to the topic. My good sir, what are you doing in this part of the building?
Well, the question is, would he have had 10 minutes while everyone was doing the stuff with the Soul Harvester and talking with Afira?
Yeah, definitely. A good, nice conversation. Everybody's been, chumming it up, talking. Yeah.
Well, at this point, then, he'd be just using his terrific transcriber to be retranscribing the notes into Common. So he's literally just reading off a mixture of arcane formula.
Okay. I will have results in a little bit. I just need to do a little roll see.
Okie dokie.
And I feel like being a good guy. I'm going to roll the good dice. You're about 50% of the way transcribed through.
Okay. So that's what Iapetus would find.
Yeah, Perdix is also kind of, like, rummaging through, like, some information and whatnot, but predominantly, the little scarab is currently, like, keeping himself busy.
Also, Daedalus would have had at least the peace of mind that even though he still is very much in a not happy space with Naylock, would have sent him the information about the Soul Harvester.
Noted.
Because that's cult stuff, and we're not allowed to deal with cult stuff anymore. All we are allowed to do is protect ourselves, the thing we would have already done.
Correct!
He is very salty about that.
Hey, you did get carte blanche from the Dean.
Mm-hmm. So I guess before she walks in, just so that she doesn't startle him, even though she knows he's probably engrossed in his work anyway, he just hear, hey Lucy.
At which point, have you entered the room, or did you knock and then you're saying that from the other side?
It depends. Did he have the door open or was it closed?
Definitely closed.
Yeah.
So then she would knock and wait. Just because that's just something they have established, given they shared essentially dormitory doors.
Perdix will be the one that actually kind of looks and goes, "Your sister is here. Shall I engage in happy music?"
He's going to first point at what he is doing, not breaking the incantation of the formula, and let him process exactly how asking that question was very stupid.
Damn!
Perdix is just going to go, "I will engage in happy music on this side of the room." And kind of just hops off of you and just skitters away.
From what you said, I thought he was on the table. Okay, if that's it, then he would just he would have just thought to him and just gone, "Hunt, I don't care about the music, but I need you to go let Iapetus know they can come in."
Copy. You watch, again, Perdix leaps off of you, goes and crawls, and kind of just, like, motions for you, Iapetus, to go meet your brother. They then immediately go over to Ender's side, kind of, like, lock up into a box, and start playing basically they're basically playing the Portal radio song.
Got it. Hey, Lucy. How's it coming? I can help.
He will motion for Perdix to come back attached to his hand and do the thing that he did so he could give information to Seamus. and gesture for you to put your hand up against his hand.
Perix will return.
She will put up her hand.
And so he'll sink his like little mandibles into your hand, so that way that can connect into a link of telepathic communication. And he'll go about halfway through. Until I finish getting fully translated, at least into Common, I won't even be able to begin trying to decipher this. This is so far outside of my realm. It's only being able to understand the language it's written in terms of formula is basically the best I can do.
What language was it written in again? I can't remember if all of us saw it or just Lucy.
It is mathematics, basically.
Oh.
It is. I put it as binary.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
From what I understand,
binary is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It sure is.
I also understood that to a certain degree it was also kind of like a chemistry formula.
Correct.
Yeah.
There is chemistry formula. Basically, the binary is what's kind of being translated to chemistry formula, and then the chemistry formula is going to common. It is basically translating a translating.
Gotcha. Translating and then localizing it to make sense.
Yeah, it's like learning. It's like learning slang from a foreign language.
Got it. Been there. Understood. So then, all right. Well, what can I do to help?
Honestly, at this point, not until I even finish recreating the formula will I even know what to ask.
That's fair.
In all honesty, I probably want Afira/Indair's help with this. They work in a similar field of at least mixing technology and science. And then there's the other fields of magic this was an expert of illusion, divination, and conjuration, and I've only even hardly touched on the first of those two.
Well, I know at the moment Afira seems to be engrossed in something that they're working on as an emergency plan, I guess, so to speak. They didn't go into too much detail, but something that can help us out should the situation arise, given what we've been dealing with. But it couldn't hurt to check in with them later if you need the help.
Yeah, plus I'll probably want to find out what that extra plan is to plan for that.
I'm not gonna lie, you probably won't get too much out of that. Seems like they were keeping the details close to her chest. But on that note, still, if you need the help, you don't have to be afraid to ask. At the very least, if you need help copying something, I can do some transcribing as well. It might take me a little longer. First time I'm looking at it and all.
That's fine. I honestly just wish I would have retained any of the information when I first translated it.
A lot has happened. Honestly, it's understandable that you wouldn't remember some of it. There have been much more pressing matters.
It's also been
situations.
It's also been like 5 years since I even had a reason to use Undercommon.
That's a fair point. I don't really hear Mom bring it up much or like speak in it unless she's angry.
True. Plus, we only really use it to talk to each other, and there hasn't been much to just keep between us for, like I said, 5 years.
Fair.
But yeah, I'll get you when everyone else is asleep if they're for some help probably between trances if I can get it done by then. We'll see.
Well, don't work too hard. Not saying that in the light sense. I know how much this means to you, but Try to allow yourself to get some rest. It's been an incredibly long day for you. And she'll, like, without interrupting him, because she knows he's still kind of in thought with what he's working on, she's gonna give him a hug.
Aw. You give your brother a hug. Internally in your heads, there is a happy emoji being projected by your dear friend Perdix.
You'll hear a hitch in his voice and his breathing, as then he kind of stops mid-formula, kind of does again that visible like hitch in his voice, just like, and then he will kind of relax into the hug and try to return it as he goes back into reading the formula.
By the way, I have this. You are attached to your brother via the neural link, basically.
Yeah.
You will also be getting what is coming.
Oh.
A
Oh,
message
boy.
is returned. It is a single question. Does this entity involve sweet? Percentile? Question mark.
Having not heard any of what Anki was saying and what Iapetus was positing outside, Dales will just give a rough idea of 60-40.
You send the message back. The message returns. Parameters acceptable. You're both gonna get a Wikipedia text flooding.
Oh.
At which point,
Perdix is actually going to have to pause this as he goes, information being shared via Neuralink can cause extreme duress. Pardon me as I parse through the information first.
At which point, Dale's just go, thank you, and just, in his head, Iapetus can hear him actively just... You know Dales doesn't curse out loud at all or hardly at all. He is cursing up a storm about Naylock.
Lucy? Well, I imagine just as she's hearing certain curses she doesn't usually hear, just, huh.
The Neuralink will be cut from you, and in fact, Perdix is actually going to hop off of both of you and kind of make their way towards kind of some flat steel.
So that'd probably be like the center table that, like, is for shared experiments.
Is he about to wireless charge?
No. You're going to hear a zzz, and a small, like, cylinder is gonna pop out from, like, where Perdix's gut, quote-unquote, would be. And you watch as, like, a small red laser starts to hit the table.
Oh.
He is basically CNCing the information that he's getting. He is laser engraving.
Oh, wow.
Dales will quickly start moving all of the paperwork to get it away from him so he doesn't destroy any of the paper we went so...
He's not doing it towards your paperwork. He's making sure to stay... He's going towards just the section of the table that is not covered.
Oh, Lord,
Lucy,
so this is all on Adair's side.
Yes.
Lucy, did you know Perdix could do that?
He'll just turn to you and give you that look of, like, he doesn't know what half of Perdix can do.
Fair? I just wanted to ask, given that that is a powerful enough laser to engrave metal that's just been hanging out on my brother's chest. Alright,
It takes a minute. While this is all going on, the radio song has not, like, stopped. It has kept going. But eventually, it does stop and Perdix goes, translation. has been made. Text. Not great. Too small. We'll hopefully add magnifier. And eventually, Perdix kind of just like opens up the back where the quote-unquote wings would be, and there's just a hollow projection of like acting as a magnifying glass.
How close am I to finishing the transcribing of these notes?
It's gonna be around 9 hours out.
Oh wow!
Iapetus can probably help.
However,
With the
I
projection.
will say, for brevity's sake, just to kind of help out, the notes will continuously go off. Like, you don't have to worry about concentrating too much on the notes.
Well, no, the spell can't work unless it has a source it's hearing, which would be Daedalus speaking, which is why he's facilitating. He's just gonna watch Daedalus pinch the bridge of his nose, stop concentrating on the spell. The quill will fall all over midway through. Just once I would like to do what I want to do when I need to do it. Fine, let's just... He just goes over to look at this projection.
I mean, Lucy, I can take stock of that if you want while you're working on the spell.
You do have a sibling.
And she has a transcriber thing she could use if we really needed to write this down again.
Well, for the first set of notes, those you'd have to be able to read Undercommon to translate to make them into Common because that's what he's doing for the other set of notes. For this one, he's going over to read.
So I'm talking about for the Wikipedia document that we have been sent.
Wikipedia. That's
basically.
That's what I was assuming Iapetus was talking about.
You're
wanting to read that information.
Right. Basically, she knows that transcribing the madam's notes is important to him, so he could focus on transcribing the madam's notes while she takes stock of what it is that Perdix is trying to show via the wiki link, so to speak, and if necessary, she can transcribe notes herself.
All right, then go ahead. He will re-ritual cast Terrific Transcriber and get back and let them do what they need to do.
All right. While you're doing that, Iapetus, you come over to the table, of which currently has been CNC'd.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you kind of a rundown on soul harvesters. There's very limited texts basically detailing these things. The encounters are predominantly minor due to the fact that they don't like to be involved with stuff. And most of the information that's been garnered has either been from someone who has either face-to-face dealt with them or from third-person accounts from other beings.
Okay. If there are points in this document, as Perdix is going through it and I guess scrolling up and down in the information, if there's a search function, the equivalent of Control F for Perdix, she's just gonna say, so I'm not exactly sure how this works, and I don't know actually if you'll be able to respond to me, but Perdix, is there anything in this document that you could scan for regarding imprints, like soul harvester imprints?
Perdix kind of just, you hear bzz, 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 and then immediately goes through and eventually reaches a section that does lead to imprintation. Imprintation is predominantly put and done by soul harvesters as an act of defiance.
Can you run that by me one more time?
A soul harvester imprinting their image is done through an act of defiance. Predominantly done via spite.
Predominantly done via spite. So it's done via spite. Spiting what? She says this out loud while she's scanning through that part of the passage.
Perdix is going to have to make a roll for once.
He only rolls in binary.
Okay, that's actually pretty decent. He's going to read through the information. Eventually, he kind of CNCs an answer kind of off to the side. And goes, failure to perform duty? Question mark.
Oh. That... I figured as much. Let's try something. What could I search for in this document? Next in command? She's trying to think of simple words to use for this search within the document. Maybe it wouldn't be next in command. Who do soul harvesters report to?
This Perdix goes through, and a new CNC answer kind of comes up. Information not available. Possible inquiry. Binding? Question mark?
Binding, was that correct?
Correct. BINDING.
Got it. Superior unknown.
You'll see Daedalus pull out another piece of paper, and while he's still transcribing, verbally, he will actually use his mage hand to pull out another quill and just write down, so for both you and Perdix to see, he will write down just relevant odds of death domains. Check mention.
Is that a command you're sending to Perdix, or basically that you're showing her that paper so that she can ask him? Or ask it?
Either or.
Got you. Perdix, can you search for gods of death's domain within this same document?
Okay. Perdix will go through everything. Eventually, it kind of does. The result does come out. No results on any link between death gods and reavers.
That tracks with what Anki explained earlier. She'll grab the piece of paper that Lucy wrote on, and below that she'll put harvesters do not report to a god. will explain more later. Anki gave some information. Oh, do harvesters do harvester imprints leave a physical form?
Perdix does go back and reverts to a prior answer. The answer is, as was said before, imprints left out of spite.
So what she's asking is more so like, can the harvester leave a physical form? So in other words, she's trying to associate the footprints she found, possibly like, is there a connection between the footprints and the death and the harvester? So like, do they have a physical body, essentially?
Results come back from Perdix and goes, potential. Creature is celestial.
Daedalus will actually make like a thoughtful like a noise and pause, and then he'll pick up the quill again with his mage hand and just go, He will write down then he'll write down a different domain, and then he'll wait for a second and just type fate.
Huh, that's a good question, actually. How to word this, though?
I can do it for you if you would like.
Thank you.
Are they tied to fate?
Yes, thank
Entities
you.
of fate. The answer will come back negative. They are not tied to deities at all.
Well, fate's also is also just like a concept. So again,
it is, but fate can be altered in many ways.
Well, that's.
However, there is something that will come back, actually, seeing as how fate does have a mention. Let me just see what Perdix can go. Interesting. Perdix will actually respond back with an inquiry. Natural order. Mentioned dozen times over in document.
Please show me all 12, Perdix.
All right. Perdix will display the natural order. And of the descriptions is this. It comes up with generalizations on each part. The natural order, or what is usually called the rules, balance, cosmic balance, the scales, or just is. It is impartial, unknown how long. It just is the maintain. Governance of existence. But there is something that does kind of pain. A request from Perdix, considering there is kind of a match between two words. Natural order and spite. Do you wish to proceed with this?
Yes. And also anything relating to what happens when that order is disturbed.
It takes a bit. Perdix actually is scanning even further into this. But eventually it does come back with a result. Causation of natural order breaking, repercussions, and reasoning. And a few reasons. Soul Harvester eliminated. Target was killed before its time. Target has been completely erased. Harvester bound.
Was that harvester found or bound?
Bound. B-O-U-N-D.
Okay. Harvester. So harvester eliminated. Target eliminated before time. Harvester bound. And was there a fourth one? I have harvester eliminated, target.
Harvester eliminated, target eliminated before time, target complete annihilation, and harvester bound.
So this could have happened for any of those reasons. With the exception of the harvester being eliminated, either of those three could have been the case. Before I jump into Perdix, make a note of harvester bound, but before exploring that, what are the repercussions?
The repercussions for what, per se?
Oh, the repercussions for when spite occurs. Because if I understand correctly, natural order is mentioned 12 times, one directly relating to a harvester imprinting out of spite. Were there any other repercussions?
Repercussions usually involve predominantly a soul not going to where it's supposed to, which means that there is a failed task that is just left out. It's like a spilled ink blot on the natural order.
It's an affront, basically.
Correct. It is basically taking that and going, yeah, no, you fucked up something.
Okay. So then, are there any other mentions, Perdix, of a harvester being bound? Possibly specifics of said binding?
It searches through the document and comes up with a result. Arcana Obscura. And brings out questionable source. Continue? Question mark?
What's the source?
It takes a bit. And eventually there is a 6-letter word that types up. Thayan.
Oh! I will remember how to spell that later. Then yes, continue with questionable source.
It brings up it actually kind of like the projection that Perdix gives off is actually something kind of more old. Like, the projection is showcasing, like, parchments that look to be ancient. And you watch as he begins to kind of translate each and every thing, eventually until it comes to a bunch of these images overlapping and in common, but it sounds like old common comes. For thou to bindeth the harvester, thou requireth great sacrifice. An altar black as night, with bones as white as snow. Blood of living, soon to be dead.
I
A
am
5-pointed star, inlaid multiple times, and a Coptic cross.
all right. So I'm probably gonna need that one more time, but just to make sure, I have for thou to bind or bound the harvester requires great sacrifice, white bones, black altar, blood of someone soon to be dead?
Blood of a living, soon to be dead.
A pointed star, or essentially a pentacle.
Several 5-pointed stars,
Several. Okay.
and a Coptic cross. And I can actually give you an image of what a Coptic cross looks like.
I would appreciate that because I know of different crosses, and I'm not familiar with that one.
Give me 1 second. A Coptic cross is basically, if you are familiar with an Ankh,
Yes, I am.
basically take that, but instead of it like having the oval Ankh top, it's actually a perfect circular with a kind of like German iron cross in the middle.
Oh, I see. So it's essentially a circle with its own cross in it on
Yes.
top of another cross.
Correct.
Okay. We'll make a note to self of that.
There is also a little bit of a translation given with a kind of stark warning. Trapping of harvester must be set in sigils. Beware the breaking of the for death's wrath shall be immeasurable.
For death's wrath is immeasurable. Oh boy. She's gonna take a deep breath. Perdix, can you let Naylock know there is a chance that the harvester might be related to the person we encountered outside of Unky's house?
The message will be relayed. It takes a few moments. but eventually a message is received and returned.
Because it was Naylock and Diane that told us who that person was. Yeah. Okay.
The message is returned. Muddy waters. Proceed cautiously with operation.
Understood. And basically before I'm assuming this is like permanently engraved, so like if I wanted to, I could technically have just like sit down with the transcriber and like write everything out.
You could. I will say this, it is very tiny writing.
So then what she's going to do is, I imagine she probably was taking notes as she was asking questions. So she's going to take those keynotes and ritual cast the transcriber. Yeah. Boopy boop boop boop. And since that's gonna require vocal things before like she starts like actually speaking so that it can do everything, her final question will be anything relating to ice.
References only showing up. Cold. Feelings of cold. Ice buildup in glass.
Okay. Thank you, Professor. And thank you, Perdix. And she's, again, transcriber is gonna go up and she's gonna start copying down notes. And she will do that until essentially right before everyone heads to bed, so that she can either talk over what has been discovered with everyone, or so that at least she has it set aside so that when they rise in the morning, she can relay everything.
All right. If that is the case, how about we cover that as we take a small break right now? A little
Works
bit of a
for me.
Yeah, we'll take a small little bio break here for everybody. We will use this bio break time as kind of like a hey, everyone's going to get their long rest.
Hey.
And we'll be able to discuss this the next day.
Yippee!
So, with that being said, I'm going to pause the creepy music. And we will get some we'll get some break going on. Everybody, stretch your water, drink your legs, snort your carrots.
Try to shred them finely first.
Nah, just snort them full.
Whole thing. Shove it up your nose. Do it. Be a man.
It'll improve your eyesight.
Bor, you make a good point. Unfortunately, she can't do that until they're all done, or at least until the notes are done. And also the font is too small. But hi, Chad. I guess you're stuck with me for a little bit until everyone comes back, and then I will go to the bathroom. So, howdy. What's up? Oh no, Bubba, don't snort the whole carrot patch. Like at least finely grate it first. Just a little bit at a time. I'm gonna drink some water, 'cause I do a lot of the talk. Is there music playing? It's so deadly silent. Yes, Alpha. Water is good. Water must have. But I also have the coffees.
And I am returned.
Ah, welcome back.
In all honesty,
Oh boy. Go ahead, sorry.
in all honesty, from what I heard, I don't think the thing was actually bound. Because it sounds like they would need to do that at the site of where they would be. And that's a lot of stuff to try to move and keep secret.
So, while Frost can probably expand upon this later, from what I gathered, like how I interpreted those notes, the binding might not have to be at that spot. It could be, but it might not have to be. So, like, imagine if you forced someone essentially into a pact of sorts via some sort of rune circle and went through the whole process, and now they are bound to whoever you bound them to, and they're just warning you not to break or interfere with the markings, the ritual markings that were made during the ceremony, or else there will be repercussions with death. That's how I kind of interpreted it. But it could also be that they have to be in you have to do the binding exactly where they were, which could potentially explain the footprints that were found. But we need him to clarify.
But yeah, no, it's been certainly an interesting session.
Oh yeah. Above game me is like, ooh, spooky occult shit. I kind of understand. Yes. In game me. Ah, yes, death. It comes for us all. There is a process to things. Someone, I guess, ferries the soul? Oh, you can bind them? I am, oh dear.
I was just realizing, dear Lord, this has happened in the span of like 3 days. We've only had 1 day of peace. Well, actually 2. We had the 1 day where we all just went out and got like ice cream. Then there was a day in between. And then today is technically a day of peace. There's been no violence.
Yeah. Yeah, today has been a day of maybe not necessarily peace, but of reflection and research. And technically, for a change, although it's not the research we want to do as far as school stuff, it's us actually getting to do what we came here to do, which is study.
Well, the worst part is Daedalus was definitely already researching a death god. Now he'll be researching a death god and adjacent celestial beings.
I just love that, pardon, that there are technically multiple entities that not necessarily are commanding, but are involved with the domain of death, because in my head, at least above game, that makes sense. Death is something finite, but at the same time not really known, just like how Frost mentioned time. Time is less finite. It's just more of a concept, but it makes sense that for certain things that are hard to actually explain or define outside of we know it to happen, that there wouldn't necessarily be a single god of it, because it is just too vast of a thing to have full command over.
There's different gods of death because there's different ways to die. Say, for example, Baal is the god of murder. And different gods have different command different domains over death.
Yeah, like the Raven Queen only has a very specific type of dead because they were a general death god, but then they stole Lolth's command over Domain of Fate, so they have the unfated dead, anyone who dies before their time.
My knowledge of the Raven Queen is minimal, but I appreciate
Oh no,
I appreciate how they are defined.
listen, they're one of the few gods that has both clerics and warlocks, so I'm immediately like, bet, yeah, this is my favorite god in 5e. I'm still mad. You did a fucking Unearthed Arcana. You gave us a Raven Queen warlock. It's not even that good. But it's decent enough and gives you a lot of stuff for roleplay, so I love it. So why didn't you just make it canon, cowards? I have legitimately asked one Games Workshop employee, and I was told that they do not handle the D&D side of things. Well, not Games Workshop, Wizards of the Coast. And I was like, damn it, this is the only chance I was going to get to do that.
Here's what you do. Pin Caliban in a corner.
It was through Caliban. But, yeah, one of these days I will play the Raven Queen Warlock, which is pretty fun. It's where
you have...
Oh, go ahead.
Bruh, you have 500 different D&D series on this channel.
Listen, man, it's also pretty much all of my content, so yeah, I'll lean into it. Like
you have 500 different series on this channel. Eventually, don't make me go full Shia LaBeouf. I will go Shia LaBeouf.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Listen, I'm getting to that, but the hardest thing was not rolling another warlock for this upcoming one-shot. I have put it down to 2 different subclasses I want to do based on Druid and Monk. And I just need to know what Alpha is going to run, because I have a vague idea of what Citrix is going to do. So he'll help me determine.
Do what I'm doing for a group of one-shots. Go random. Everything random. Your race, your class, your subclass, your subrace, your alignment, your background, everything random, and make it fucking work.
Oh, Alpha wants to actually take one of my subclasses for a spin, so yeah, just message me after the stream, Alpha, and I will send you over the doc or the relevant information. Because...
Ooh, nice.
Oh yeah, no, I'm stuck between the idea of a Astral Elf Way of the Iron Mind monk, which is a psychic monk that I built, and an Azamar Circle of the Coven druid, which is basically, I've got a whole bunch of hag shit I can do. And basically I make my own coven instead of having a wild shape.
That's neat.
Yeah. They're my 2 go-tos. I also need to find out if we get stuff like magic items, because if we're getting magic items, then it's definitely going to be the druid, because there's no way I'm not taking a broom of flying.
There's a character I've been throwing together that originally I was going to base off of an older character, but now I'm going to kind of repurpose it. And I'm kind of excited about it.
Uh-oh.
I just have to decide between 2 specific classes, but as soon as I figured out what I wanted their personality to be based off of, I'm like, oh, let's fucking go. Why didn't I think of this before?
I have terrible news.
Yes.
I bring to you word directly from the murder cave.
Go on.
I have terrible news for everyone. The character creation in Wilds is robust enough that Arkoff is going to spend an entire day making his character, and I am going to make it an offense against God, science, and the Geneva Convention.
So I have already sent a couple images to a couple people. I've seen a very, very fucking accurate Michael Jackson. I've seen Mr. Satan with a cat that looks like Majin Buu. Yeah, some of them are a little too intricate. Hell, I was able to make myself.
Look,
scary.
I'm just saying, as I told a friend yesterday, Street Fighter 6 showed Capcom what people are willing to make, as did Dragon's Dogma 2. 100% abominations are going to exist in Wilds, and I cannot wait.
Alpha saying they've seen a completely accurate Maria and Shadow the Hedgehog as the cat.
Oh, fuck yeah. I am gonna have to wait to actually buy the game, though. I do not have the funds.
It does not come out till February, so I
Fuck
also...
yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, this is just the beta. The game does not launch officially until February 25th. And yes, I know this because nerd, but
Yes.
but yeah, I'm hoping I can save up enough to get it because Monster Hunter is life.
Oh, I'm taking it out of my savings. I'm not taking it out of anything that I can use for bills because money be tight right now. However, Monster goes smashy, yay!
I'm gonna need savings first, but I'm working on it.
You got this. In the meantime, I will play World with you. Yippee! How far are you in that, by the way?
Honestly, I think I still have to do like one more mission to like open up things a little bit more, just because when I told you I haven't touched the game in a while and like hadn't been able to, yesterday was the first bit of Monster Hunter that I've touched in months that was on my computer.
Oh shit, okay. Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
Like
then.
I think the last time I touched World was with you once, and then I think briefly with Punk. And that was like the last time I touched it. I had literally haven't touched it in over a month. I'm working on it.
Are we all here? Are we ready to get back to business? I will hit you up later, Zai, I promise.
I understand.
Just waiting on, I think, Frost, because Wiley confirmed that he's here.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, and if
Sorry.
Husbando is here.
Alrighty then. I will
Also,
take us over.
hearing all that Monster Hunter stuff, my first thought was, can you make Gary Busey?
If there is a will, there is a way.
The hardest thing will be is matching the teeth.
Oh, no, it won't. They gave us nuance.
But okay, I think we're ready to pick back up.
All right. Just want to make sure. Understood, Wiley. All right. We will be picking up with a long rest that you all will get to enjoy. Data lists for your transcriber, I will say you are still able to maintain it while you rest, as light work is kind of, light work for elves.
Well, I mean, he would have done it before he trans, but he can't keep it up. Like, it requires it's a audio transcriber, so if he's not speaking, like it can either target an area or a person or a number of people. So, but I will say this:
Fair enough.
he will, before he goes to rest, just because it'll mean less as complaining, and he'll be able to recover more slots. He will waste another slot to in the wee hours of the morning, right before he transits, to pocket sand sleeping Anki.
Anki will take it. He's face down into a pillow in his little cot, which is, bare bones, barring a pillow and a blanket.
I just want to quote.
But
I just want to do one small quote from a bridge series. Oh, let me just spend another fortune to protect this guy. Oh wait, it's just a fortune. So much diamond dust. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it's diamond dust a dozen. But the morning does come, and you all will be waking up in the safe house. I'll say Iapetus, you're the first one who's gonna be up.
That is on brand. If I completed all of those notes, then I will ask Perdix to do its best to. Well, actually, do I know if Perdix would be able to restore the desk back to the way it was, like the metal sheet, or should I just take care of that myself?
Mending would easily fix the problem.
So then, Tousled, giving herself like a slight little bit of stretch just because did not rest in the usual environment, goes over the table, holds a hand above it. Alright, I should probably fix this. And will cast Mending on the iron sheet that had writing engraved into it.
Okay.
In the attempts to fix it. Here's hoping I fucking fixed it. Did it work?
Yeah, mending easily fixes.
Zaya, I want you to know the image in my head is just Iapetus putting a hand on it. This can't possibly be good for the table. And slowly running a hand over as it fades away, a la Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes.
I love that.
Absolutely yes. And then we'll look over at the stack of notes, which, it being her, she has of course tried to organize them as best she could into like a couple a couple sheets per person so that they have their own. And then looks for the coffee machine.
That would probably
Realizes
be in the
we
lab.
I was gonna say if we have one, because she doesn't know if we even have one yet. But looks for one. If she finds it, she's gonna start it, and then walk out and start gently checking on everyone to see who is either already awake or who looks like they're exhausted. The last person she's going to wake up, so to speak, or nudge gently out of trance is her brother.
Okay. I'd say probably start off with like Anki, maybe Belky, Goldbloom. Actually, would Afira have gone to sleep as Afira or Ender?
Let's find out.
Good question.
Afira can crash with Belky. Or Ender, whichever.
Tell you what, let me grab my handy dandy die roller real quick, and we'll find out quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Damn right.
Awesome.
1 to 5, Ender. 6 to 10, Afira. Afira.
All right, yeah. Afira and
And-
Belky.
1 to 2, 1 to 2, yes. 3 to 4, no. Afira basically fell asleep at the desk.
Mm.
Got
Alright.
it. Yeah.
So, since this is just gonna go around gently, like waking up folks. When she gets to Afira, just I swear they are too similar sometimes. Is there like a blanket or anything near you? Probably not.
Her shawl.
Yeah, the shawl does exist.
she's going to kind of like gently. Well, is there like a thing that is not the desk that's close by that maybe like she could like guide Afira over to like have her lay down?
This is probably like the laboratory, so probably not. Unless Daedalus has like some emergency crash pad or something like that.
I mean,
We brought some beds in, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
beds are just outside of the office. Well, not office.
Yeah,
Bonk even made them cool.
Beds,
So-
quote unquote. They're basically, cots.
Anki made them cool and like made the fucking capsule corp like toss it.
Oh
ka-chink,
yeah.
Yeah. They're
So
they're basic cots though.
boom.
So then Ibis will gently nudge Afira. Hey. Like eye level on the desk. Hey. Come on, let's get you to one of the beds. And we'll slowly, gently try to wake Afira up, not like jostle them so that they're not startled. And if they wake up, we'll help like walk them over to the bed and then like cover them back up because they're clearly exhausted.
Yeah. Somehow or another, you're able to do it. It's one of those moments where they are completely out of it, but you manage to somehow or another, given her somewhat smaller frame at the moment, you manage to get her over to the bed.
And we'll take the shawl and just, yeah, you need a little bit more sleep. I'll let any of our shared classes for professors know you might be a little late, and like just cover her up. And if there was any of her like gauntlets or materials that were on the floor near the desk, we'll put them back on that desk and basically try to leave it where they can easily find their stuff later.
You will notice, Iapetus, that there is one of Afira's food chests on that desk. And it wasn't there last night.
This wasn't here. Looks at the food chest. Looks at the sleeping Kato. Did they leave out in the middle of the night to... I will ask them about this later. and will not touch it because respects privacy and boundaries unless it looks like something is jostled, at which point they will just neatly put it back in its place. But we'll go around gently nudging everyone else awake unless it looks like her friends need more sleep.
Belky will just and then pull the blanket over her head.
Alright, so Belky,
Yeah.
I got some information last night from one of the professors. They sent it to us. I'm gonna leave you a copy of some notes, okay? Where should I put them so you can find them? They're important.
And just vaguely gestures towards the workstation Afira was at last night.
Takes 2 copies of notes and leaves them under the food chest. Like, not directly under it, but like the food chest is used as a paperweight, and it's just puts Indare and Afira's name on one set and then put Belky's on another set. And it's like, they'll see it. All right. And walks over towards Goldblum. We'll leave a set of notes if Salus is already up and gone, which he probably would be, she'll just give him notes later. In the case of Goldbloom, like she will nudge him awake, to if he isn't already awake, to let him know about the notes as well.
Of course.
And then, like I said, last person, she would go jostle gently is her brother.
Go wake your brother up. I would say with that, everyone is going to be roused. Anki is gonna make some food. Probably some simple toast for everybody.
Aww.
I'd say after he's woken up, Dale just went right back into the office and started retranscribing. But he would also do a few things. He'd take whatever notes that were left for him and start putting up a new conspiracy board. He'll organize all of Alfira's tools and stuff around, which I assume is them working on their gauntlets, and just try to leave some notes for them of just like things they need to talk about. But basically just try to tidy that stuff up and make it easier for them later.
Alright.
Specifically, when it comes to the notes, although Iapetus will leave copies for people if she can't like give it to them directly, she'd probably wait to go over them with like the group so that she only has to explain it also once, but also they can relay what they learned from Anki as well to data listening and so forth and so on.
Of course. In fact, we could kind of cover that as I will kind of just hand wave classes. You all just go to your classes or work and just get things done. But it is around like one of the break periods you guys would probably reconvene to just discuss everything that's going on. So, let's begin this discussion with Iapetus. You wish to talk about the notes.
So yeah, like if it looks like all of us are in a good environment with not too many listening ears, because obviously we don't want to talk about this in the lunchroom.
Of course. For the purpose of this, I would say that this entire conversation will probably be happening back at the hideout during the downtime hours.
Gotcha.
So where everybody gets their own peace and quiet.
I will say, anyone who gets there will notice Daedalus never actually left.
Okay. I'll just make that a note.
Lucy, did you not go to class?
Didn't have time, as he just gestures at finally having all of the notes organized onto a different conspiracy board, having transcribed them, and probably been studying them to try to figure out if he could learn anything.
Lucy, what do you mean you didn't have time? We still have to at least try to pass this semester.
Well, I passed 2/3 of the final, so I'm already doing pretty well. And I didn't even have time to study or attend most of my classes before the last one. That was just me figuring stuff out.
Sticking a pin in that. Alright, so have you guys had a chance to look at the notes that I left for some of you or gave you earlier? I know most of us had a late night. I was up for a while doing some extra transcribing because we got some information in last night. Did anybody look at them?
Anki will raise a hand and go, I did. I did.
Thank you, Anki. I appreciate you.
Dale's just turn, cock an eyebrow, and be like, of course she gave him notes. That's in his head. But then he'll just be like, I honestly only was able to really skim them, but I was there when we were deciphering the bulk of it earlier, so I think I can manage. Alright,
so then should I activate exposition as a cantrip?
Please.
Awesome.
Bring it up. Exposition as a cantrip.
Woohoo! Exposition as a cantrip, go burr. So, basically, you guys will learn about the imprintation, and why it's done, why it happens, or why it occurs, and that essentially failure to perform a duty, uh, specific reasons why the natural order might get disrupted when it comes to a harvester doing their job, um, and most important, the Thane questionable source of there is a way to apparently bind a Thayan to someone or something, but it's essentially a fucked up ritual, and if you fuck up the sigils involved for it, it's gonna be a bad time where death is concerned. Um, yeah, that's basically what you guys will hear, including the specifics of what is required to do the binding, and an image of that cross. And so, like, if you guys have questions based off of those notes, she'll do the best she can and try to relay it. Daedalus will also get informed about what Anki explained to Belky and his sister.
Frost, question.
How can I help you, soldier?
Wasn't one of the symbols in that dream a cross? That dream that we all had?
Perhaps. Smile.
You give me like 30 seconds, I could tell you.
I'll give you 30 seconds, soldier.
Because I remember there being 7 stars and a cross in a very particular dream that I don't think that Indare noticed at that time, but I believe there was also a secondary cross and a secondary vision that we all shared.
Yeah, I would also say one thing. Daedalus would say, actually, I think you messed up. Thayan refers to, well, that assassin we met. It's from the land of Thay. So it's just a Thayan ritual.
Oh no, I didn't miss that, because the notes that we received from that document that Naylock sent only said that the source was a questionable source because it was essentially Thayan as far as the source, but it didn't specify if the ritual was Thayan. It just said that there were parchments of Thayan origin that described a ritual that would be done for binding. As to your above game question, Bob, so we had dreams of a horn, a skull-tipped staff, a howling wolf, a mechanical heart, gold dragon, a blood red stone, and a titanic world tree. And then there were 7 stars that were burning bright blue and white.
Good on you, Iapetus. I give you a point of inspiration.
Oh shit, thank you!
I would like to know who chooses chosen ones and like to then file a complaint.
Complaint machine broke. But yeah, you guys are presented with that information. Anki's actually gonna kind of think on all that.
Also, I'm really sorry the notes are all jumbled, guys. I was writing them as I was learning information and scanning through the document.
Yeah, you did your best, lass. Can't say anything.
still better than anything we have to go off of, and in all honesty, I don't think we could get any of this information just from the Biblioplex at all. At least not without forging some kind of security clearance.
I mean, as far as security clearance goes, I don't think we'd have to forge it. I mean, we've been up to the dean's office, and they know what we've been dealing with. I could probably just go and ask Professor Diane if there is a way for me to have like a one-day pass or something to go to the Grand Librarian, and could probably go up there to get some information.
I'm not putting much faith in the staff, really.
Agreed.
Mm.
Well,
No,
that's
honest-
not me putting my faith in them. That's just me asking for something so that I can just go put faith in myself and us.
Also, Anki, you're good with machines, right?
I build them.
How good would you be at, say, in creating an assembly line?
What do you need assembled? Oh,
well,
excuse me. Toast
first
is
I need-
really hitting me.
First, 1 second here. I need to check and see if I do in fact have a guy. He's gonna put he's gonna put 2 fingers to his head, and cast sending, and just mark that off. And he's going to send this particular message. I've got a job offer for you if you're not in prison. Also, do you need to break you out of prison? And he sent that message to the Hoblin Goblin.
You get no response back.
Oh, great, they're in prison.
I'm sorry, did he say the they're in prison part out loud?
Yes,
I'm sorry, who's in prison?
the Hoblin Goblin.
The who?
What? Why
Hoblin.
did they come up
Goblin.
all of a sudden?
'Cause I think-
Lucy?
The fuck's a Hoblin Goblin? I know what a Hobgoblin is, but the Hoblin Goblin?
They're a bat person who
wa-
dresses up like a hobgoblin and flies around on a glider and throws grenades. And also makes chimeras.
More important,
That sounds like
What?
someone who's got a fucked up childhood.
Probably.
what about them being in prison, and more importantly, why did that come up right now? While talking about an assembly line?
Because I'd really like to have a lot of what they were able to make in terms of weapons to protect us. And I figured, hey, if we could just reconvert one of these other, like, abandoned forgeries into a place for him to just at least create those weapons, it'd be very nice.
A reminder, those machines were broke down
I know.
and removed.
I know. That's why I was asking how good Anki is at building assembly lines.
All depends.
I believe. I'm trying to-
Abaddis has the most deadpan stare right now, like, of just disbelief looking at Daedalus.
And Daedalus has an
Somewhere
equally
Salus is screaming into the void.
and Daedalus has an equally deadpan and look on his face of being how tired and just going, I'm trying to establish at least some form of preemptive self-defense.
By involving the person who tried to kill us because he was mad that his ideas were supposedly not getting heard?
I mean, we're
I
literally
think
the
you're
only
all a bunch of fucking crazies.
Wait,
Yes.
what did Anki say?
I think you're all a bunch of fucking crazies. As he munches on toast.
To be fair, he didn't really have much malice in wanting to kill us. We just kind of, well, I tried to stop him from breaking into the laboratory, and then we broke into his laboratory.
All right. New fucking rule in our little clubhouse here and everywhere in this fucking school. No more making plans without everybody, being on board with it.
Well,
Because nah. I ain't dealing with a guy who chucked bombs at us. Sorry, no.
You said grenades, right?
Yeah.
Grenades, bombs. I stood on a fucking grenade in order to let everyone else get away. We were able to disarm it. We almost didn't.
From what I understand, he also, for a brief moment, from what was told to me, knocked my brother unconscious. So I'm not
Yeah.
exactly keen on bringing him into the fold to somehow provide protection.
Specs,
Yeah.
ever since you had that thing installed in your chest, you've gone a little over the deep end. So can we just, like, pull it back a little bit? Maybe. Possibly.
Anki's just gonna look between all of you and go, can I voice my opinion?
Of course.
Please do.
Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Don't bring people that caused... For legal reasons, I can't say the actual word on stream, because it could flag.
The what?
The T word.
Oh, right. I know
Yeah.
what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Just type it out for me.
What's the opposite of horror?
Or
Opposite
kind of
of
a-
horror?
Or kind
Comedy?
of a synonym. Here. Don't say it. I'm just gonna send it to you.
Well...
But yeah,
I see.
well, we have very, very few avenues of stuff. It was either that, I talked to Salas about possibly trying to make a deal with Samson, because he's like the only other person that we can actually reach out to.
Alright, so we got a guy in jail, a mob boss, and literally the Forge Master from the Hells.
Who is also
How
my boss.
about... No, he's not.
Huh?
Anki, Uncle, you're not a fucking mob boss, are you? You're just the Forge Master, right?
I can't do mob stuff.
Exactly.
You kidding me?
He's got a wife and kids, man.
On top of that, I'm not really great when it comes to, like, financial paperwork.
Speaking of which, actually, is your family okay with us just leaving him alone? Do we need to, like, tell them that you're okay?
Don't worry about it. I've already got a thing handled.
Does this happen often?
Not really.
Fair enough.
This is kind of a whole spur of the moment kind of thing.
Right. But, Specs, for real, like, don't start plans without us.
Also, something kind of caught me. You said a 5-pointed star, like, symbol?
And like you see her blinking for a moment after dealing with the sudden whirl like pool of information and the Hoblin Goblin. The Soul Harvester, right? Yeah, to bind them apparently you need several 5-pointed stars, in addition to a number of other very specific items.
That sounds like a soul catcher coin. And he kind of rummages through, and you see he pulls out a coin. And he puts it. You see a tiefling on one side, and a 5-star on the other side.
Soul Catcher coin, tiefling on one side, and a
Yeah.
5-pointed star on the other.
Yeah. The tiefling kind of looks like the stereotypical devil. Like, has the goatee, pointed beard, mustache kind of thing.
Deus just looks at it with Detect Magic.
It's giving off magic.
And it's a necromancy.
What?
Yep.
Oh, that's a living soul in a coin.
Aye, soul coin. It's the currency of hell.
Delightful.
Not really. You don't want to be in one of these things. They suck.
Question.
Especially when they put you in a pachinko machine.
What's a pachinko?
Don't
Question-
worry about it. I don't want to relive those days.
Question for later. But other question was, has Iapetus seen a coin like this anywhere before?
I will
Well-
flat out tell you the answer. No. A soul
Okay.
coin. Rarely do you see a soul coin outside of hell.
Only asked because of the one coin transaction situation we saw in the Callum Shan Hotel with that one
That is
person
a
who walked
much
to
more
the counter.
different coin.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Blame my brain for remembering things. But no.
Gonna have to screenshot that.
I see that goes in out of context. I see. But yeah, I haven't seen a coin like this before. I'm assuming that's a good thing.
As Belky?
Belky, I'll actually give you this one. Roll me a history.
Got it. Investigation, nature, history. There we go. 16. Pretty decent.
You've seen it done once. And that was your dad.
Yeah. Hey, Pops had one of these.
I'd expect him to have at least one or two of them on hand.
That doesn't bode well.
Hey, remember, it's mostly the soul. It's, well, 99% the souls of the damned.
Fair.
There's that 1% where it's not really a damn soul, but yeah, that's a rarity. Like, very rare. Those ones are really kept close in circulation.
Do they all look like that, or is it the person that's damned on the other side of the coin?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Kind of pointing to the face. That's the Lord of the Nine Hells. He's on everything.
What?
Aye. That's him. Well,
Huh.
at least an effigy of him.
That's the guy.
Aye.
Huh.
That's big man. I know. I've
Somehow
worked with
I-
him.
Didn't expect him to look like a tiefling.
You'd be surprised. He comes in a lot of forms, but Tiefling's mostly the big one.
Huh.
Is this
Interesting.
Is this one of those, if we know his name, it's really bad because you're avoiding it and it makes me worried?
Yeah, we're not saying it for a reason. Don't say the word.
Well, I mean, you can say the name, but it's just, it's always like an omen of bad fortune. Hence why I tend to not say it.
The way Dad put it, you give him power when you say his name, so we're not gonna say it.
Also,
Oh,
don't die an unbeliever.
And he can find you.
Aye.
Oh, so it's an L word kind of situation. I got it.
What's it?
What?
An L
I
word?
mean,
Daedalus makes a spider with his hands and then points to his face.
Ah,
The spider
her.
bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Her. Oh yeah. Oh no. Do not mention, especially if you're, like, ooh. I met her once. Not a nice character.
Really?
Oh, you'd be
And she
surprised
didn't
who
eat
you
you
meet
alive
down there.
instantly?
Hmm?
She didn't eat you alive instantly?
No, she was kind of busy on the battlefield.
Good thing you were at a distance.
I was just resupplying people. I don't fight.
No, but you equip other people to.
Aye. But soul coins. That's interesting. You only get soul coins from, well, down below. There is places you could get them. Up top side.
Making deals?
No. The amount of deals you would need. Soul coins are too precious. Like I said, they're the currency of hell. One of these alone can make you a king. At least topside.
Why?
You know how valuable it is to have a soul to spare.
Oh. I see.
There's very few people that can actually get them up top. I know that there's been some talkings about it in the far eastern regions. In the Deadlands. Some have them, but again, really bad magic. God damn it, Wiley.
Yes.
However, if they're ever circulating, They'd be in an underground market. Specifically, the underground market.
We got a lion man we gotta talk to.
No, not that kind of underground market. Deeper.
What's deeper than that?
The underworld market. Samson's a man who dips his feet in some nasty business, but he doesn't dip his feet too much into the water.
Samson dips his toes in. Where you're talking about going, we'd have to dive head first.
Aye.
Well, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
One option that we have is a good one.
But I can't swim.
Anki actually looks at you. Aye, for real? You can't
Makes
swim?
sense. He was raised by dwarves.
Makes sense. You'd probably be in a mountain all the time. Aye, this would be an underworld market, but like deep underworld. Only place I could think of that would even be remote would be the underbelly of the ley lines. That's the only one I can think of.
So Samson's on top of it.
Aye, he's like the skimmed cream on milk.
He's the first layer of hell.
I wouldn't go that far.
Depends on who you cross.
All I know is he's a standing, like, army of mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He does the petulant crimes and everything else. I mean, sure, murders do exist, but, you know. That's just in the business of his kind. This is stuff that, this belongs to groups that would... And he kind of purses his lips. Of the more unsavory varieties.
So why do we need to go get a soul coin?
You don't need a soul coin. You just need to know who's selling them.
But you said that you could buy a kingdom for as much as it costs to get a soul coin.
Aye, you could. But from what I'm reading here, and from what the notes dear Lassie here provided, this is seemingly like a binding altar. Something used to bind a soul harvester. Lure them in and then, you know, trap them.
So are we trying to replicate this, or...
Replicate? No!
Well, then what's the plan, man?
I think it's to find whoever's manufacturing soul coins and then try to figure out why they're doing it and if they're connected to the cult, which they might be.
So,
if your friend Sweet's still got that staff, I mean, your best bet might be to find whoever's selling it. If you manage to, they might lead you directly to them.
That was basically my concern, where I was trying to figure out, not so much figure out, I don't want to, we're obviously not going to replicate this, but we need to know where these parts could have been sourced from for said ritual, because otherwise, there is a chance that the reason why we saw what we did at the madam's house last night is because the harvester might be bound. We don't know that for certain. Again, we don't know for certain what it could be bound to, but what we do know is that the whole point of a soul harvester is to apparently help maintain the natural order by doing its job, which is, from what I've learned last night in this crash course, is ferrying souls. there's a few reasons why that natural order could get messed up. If the harvester was eliminated, if the target it was supposed to go for was eliminated before its actual time, if the harvester was bonded to something, or if the target was completely destroyed. 3 of those are a possibility, but it means that the harvester being bonded is a possibility. So it just helps to know where they could be sourcing those parts from to complete the ritual.
Well, the way that it seems like the reason why the imprint happened in the site from yesterday was due to the fact that her soul was destroyed due to the soul fire.
And if
Probably.
anything, from what it sounds to me, sounds like they just want to capture any soul harvester and then probably use it to direct souls. They are a cult after all.
So, I have an
Alethea
idea. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Red.
Oh no, she was just gonna say, well, Alethea, you're absolutely right. It definitely could have been there because the target was completely destroyed, but one could also argue that perhaps she might have been destroyed before her time, given that Sweet was involved with it. Obviously, we don't know because I definitely don't have the powers to weave fate, but there's just a number of reasons why that harvester could have imprinted based on the 4 possible reasons that were in that document. So just, covering bases, especially since the source was Thayan, and the professors mentioned that was the individual that we encountered was a Thay, or was from Thay.
Aye, a
So-
assassin.
So here's the idea I got, right? We're no slouch, right? We've got some pretty decent power here. And listen, so we need to go to the source. There's some pretty powerful people at the school. Why don't one of us just die? It's not like we can't be brought back.
I'm gonna just stop you right there and just say that you're wanting to die.
I mean,
you know how
don't.
fucking insane you sound.
I mean,
How about this?
Huh? I'm confident in my friends. What can I say?
I understand that last, but there's a lot of things in the realm between life and death that you don't want to deal with.
Okay.
How about
Also,
this? Take something into account, because I'm
Yeah.
kind of looking at this from a different angle.
Sure.
Kind of coming from the immortal side of things.
Yeah.
Maybe they imprinted because it's a cry for help.
I mean, maybe. But how
It's
would
not
we
able to do its job.
that's also very possible. It did mention that apparently imprinting can happen out of spite from, like you said, not being able to literally do its job.
Aye. So, if I may make a suggestion, the information you got, I'd say probably try tracking whoever could sell this kind of shit.
Alright, so have you been to the underworld?
Once.
Uh-huh. And what can you tell us about it?
Well, and he kind of, thinks for a moment. Alright. So what I can say is this. When it comes to the underbelly side of the ley lines, it's a really bad market. It's like deep underground, like a necropolis almost. It's an open-air black market. You want things that are hard to get or much less desirable? You can get it there. Body parts, giant vats of blood, cursed magical items, hex bags. I mean, hell, you could buy live beasts. The ones that aren't supposed to be, for sale. Plus, it's also breeding ground for recruitment activity for different groups. I mean, you've got cults, trying to sponsor people. Cult of the Dragon, Cult of the Quiet One.
Ooh, we should
Look, my dad's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We should definitely not mention that we killed a follower of the Cult of the Dragon already.
We did.
Yeah.
We killed a dragon.
Gruul. Yeah, Gruul. He worshipped Tiamat.
Does that
Hey,
make him
but
a
that's
cult
a
of the
dragon.
dragon? That's not the same thing, bro.
They look, dragons venerate Tiamat. They don't. They pay lip service, really. Unless you see Tiamat herself.
Which you did.
They mostly just fuck.
I've seen Tiamat.
Yeah.
What?
At the diner.
Please tell me you didn't go to hell. Oh, sloppy odges. I forgot it's up there. Good work. No.
Yeah, I
It's
didn't
one of the
realize.
few places.
Did not realize I'd seen her until I actually saw a statue of her.
Did
Aye.
she look like a dragon, or did she look like something else?
Dragon with
dragon.
5 heads, one of each color.
Yeah, that's
Huh.
that's Tiamat.
Fair enough. Okay,
She's a
so
real reclusive homebody at times.
Apparently,
I
she's
would-
on house arrest.
Aye.
What?
Oh, yeah. She got beat back. Yeah,
So-
something about a war between her and her brother, Bahamut.
Well, either
Also,
way,
something about war with the giants.
yeah, maybe. But here's the thing, yeah. So we have to infiltrate the underground market and avoid cults. Easy enough. My dad's got a cult. I'm familiar with how to get around that. We have to figure out where they're selling soul coins. Is that right?
Aye.
Okay. And any information on my uncle's staff? We know where it's at.
Well, we know who has it. We don't know where it's at.
Fair enough, but it's at the school somewhere.
Well, maybe. I don't know how much Sweet moves around.
I mean, he was at the school, right?
No. Well, he was at the school when I first saw him. Then
Yeah.
Then the next time I saw him, he was off school grounds during the murder.
Well, yeah. But, like, as far as we know, vampires live in the fucking walls of the school. Nobody's done anything about it.
I mean, I tried.
I know, man, I don't. Unfortunately...
I mean,
Go ahead, Red.
I mean, while most of them are pieces of shit, there are a few that are not bad by default. But you make a good point. We don't know how many are on campus and where they are.
Aye. I'll look at it this way. You judge someone more by their actions and content of their character than you do what they are. I mean, look at me. Kind of just gestures up and down. I'm literally hellfire and brimstone.
Devil with a heart of gold.
That has
No, I
extorted
just-
us at least once.
Listen,
Listen, kind of
Anki-
just shrugs.
Listen, Unc, if you wanted to, like, wipe us out, it wouldn't be hard. We're fully aware. What do you mean?
I don't really have the heart to fight.
What?
Duly noted.
Look, when I fought the thing, when I was pissed, I'm willing to throw down, but fight? Like fight something equal to me or even greater? Hell no, I'm a coward. I run the fuck away.
Unc, that's why I said you could take us out pretty easy. We're a lot weaker than you are.
You fought a fucking dragon and actually survived. I wouldn't call you weak.
Yeah, but you're the Forge Master.
Aye.
I'm with Belky, and I'm incredulous that we could kill an archdevil.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's not
okay,
an Archdevil.
I love the fact that you just said that. You're doing me a service by calling him that. I'm not. I wish I were, because then... Well, actually, no. I'm glad I'm not. Because then life would be even more hell. You know how much paperwork's in hell?
A lot.
You don't even know.
It runs on paperwork.
Don't even get me started about that.
Bureaucracy is hell, and hell is bureaucracy. That's all I know about the place.
Hey.
And fire and brimstone. But that
And
goes without saying.
And ice. And
Yeah,
lots of gold.
Ice and me. We have never gotten along.
You don't want hell ice. Hell ice is not fun.
Yeah, let's avoid the cold at all costs. But so when do we head out? Are we skipping class today? What's going on?
I mean, I already skipped class.
That's all up to you. You still gotta get in touch with your one friend. I'd say plan, make a time,
Excuse me.
and then prepare. If anything, and he kind of just like thinks about it. You're gonna need a way in.
What? You can't just go in?
You gotta find the location. You gotta find the door to get in first.
Yeah, but
That
you said that
moves.
you've been there.
I've been there. So it'll show up for me. You
Yeah.
haven't.
See, that's the thing. I was pretty much gonna say you're coming along either way.
What?
Aye.
No, you gotta ask him first, bro.
No. I'm willing to help.
I appreciate it, Unc.
Y'all saved my arse. I got
that-
trapped in a fucking little flask.
He's also the only one who can tell if the coins are counterfeit or not, besides being able to see magic.
Aye. And it's you can't really fake, well, I mean, you can try faking, but anyone who's got, it taps his eyeball.
The only way that
This
you...
kind of sight,
I was more thinking because of the metal. It'd be easy just to imbue these things with just an aura of necromancy and make people think.
Souls are a little bit different than that.
I'm just going off
think
what I
of a
can see
soul
with
like a
magic.
canary. Think of a soul like a bird.
A bird?
Aye. It wants to be free and fly around. It does not like being caged.
But we're... And she gestures to herself, we're alive.
Exactly. Your soul is bound, but you're still free because you're able to interact with things. When you pass on, your soul wants to go interact with the realm that it can interact with. It doesn't like being tied down.
Now I'm just imagining a bunch of devils taking a soul coin into a hell mine.
I see what you're doing there.
I don't get it. Oh, it's a
Only-
canary. Ah, okay. It took me a second. Well
Aye.
done.
You don't do a canary, though. You do a phoenix.
Yeah, but that's not gonna help you because they're gonna set the gas on fire and blow everybody up.
Aye, but they come back.
Yeah, but
You
you
never have
don't.
to worry.
Well, I suppose in hell you would.
I mean, it could be a lot worse. You could be in the City of Brass.
The city of brass?
Aye, it's not a great place. Elemental plane of fire. Lots of problems there.
I mean, just Belky gestures to herself again. Y'all
Aye.
might not.
No, you will not like it. It involves the acquisition of indentured servitude forever and ever.
Ah,
Oh.
Aye, not a great place.
I prefer the elemental plane of water.
Aye, water's great.
nope. Ain't doing water, sorry.
Oh well. Alfira,
But
do you
anyway,
want to help me start getting prepared for this trip?
actually, I gotta steal our little pussycat away for a bit before we do anything.
Alright, I'll be in the lab.
Man, I'm popular today, aren't I?
And Belky will wrap an arm around Afira's waist and gently, guide her out of the room.
Of course.
Go ahead and
Well,
continue the scene. I'll get back later, afterwards.
Of course. Anki's gonna look to the rest of you and go, so, I'm gonna say this right now. First and foremost, identities. If you have any form of identification, leave them behind. Do not bring them with you.
That silence
Roger
says that
that.
nobody has anything like a school ID, I guess.
My apologies, I was waiting for a response.
I can't answer. I'm getting dragged away.
Yeah,
by
you're getting
the,
dragged away. We'll get to
I'm
you
getting
in a
dragged
little
away.
bit. But, yeah, Aleki's just gonna go, first, leave behind all your IDs. If you accidentally lose an ID in that underworld market, your entire life's basically gone. You have no idea how bad you can screw yourself that way.
Noted.
Above game. Is a Strixhaven pendant or pendant? Whatever
Yeah.
that is.
That is
Yeah. That is an identifier.
It's basically like wearing a school jersey.
You do not
Leaving
want to
that
have that on
behind.
you.
Essentially, you don't want to look like a tourist.
Dude, yeah. You are a tourist in Romania.
Yet
Well-
do not walk into Philly wearing a Washington Commanders jersey and being like, "Oh, this is nice." Don't do it.
Or downtown Philadelphia wearing a Steelers jersey.
Correct.
You're going to get shivved.
And the only
Artisan's Guild stuff is left behind.
Yeah, I was about to say, the only thing that Daedalus would have on that would identify him doesn't identify him as him. It's a sign that only people from about 20 years ago from Icewind Dale would know, and they would assume, that person is dead and I'm now wearing their clothes. Or at least their glasses.
All I can say is this. The Underground is the Detroit 8 Mile. Do not get caught lacking in the Detroit 8 Mile.
Got it.
Just,
Noted.
let me just change one prepared spell.
And also don't leave your horse and buggy there. Your
Oh,
horse
cool.
and buggy will lose both of its ability to move.
It will lose both its horse and its buggy.
No, they'll just take the legs off the horse.
Oh.
Okay, I can speak to animals.
Well, I have
can
Chromatic
comfort
Art
it.
prepare, so I'm packing. And Lightning Bolt.
We're not going there right now, right?
No,
No, dear God.
Okay.
we are
You gotta
preparing.
prep. And also,
Cool.
above game reason, we need CG.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was like,
we
oh,
do not
no.
want to start this
We
operation
definitely,
without
if we're going to the underworld, we definitely want the person who can speak thieves can't.
Good point.
And who also might be
Yes,
able
we
to
do.
help some of us have disguises.
Correct.
Because I don't know if essentially
One of the known heirs to the Von de Fente family should just be walking in there with their actual face.
You cannot have shit in the underworld.
True, but
But-
also, I would say the average criminal would not probably know about the Von de Vente family heirs. We aren't exactly... We're not famous nobles, we are just new money nobles. Very new money nobles.
But this technically isn't a criminal market, right? This is technically like underworld,
No,
like
no,
dead sort of
It
environment.
is the criminal market mixed in with it is the dark web, basically.
Okay, that's how I saw it. Like
This is the
get your
dark
Social
web that you
Security
are going to,
taken.
basically. This is you went from the Silk Road to the very depths of the dark net, the deep web.
Okay, yeah, that's how I was interpreting that.
Yeah.
This is where you go to see things that you don't want to see in real life.
Yeah, I would say then, again,
Correct.
Daedalus couldn't be recognized except by people that are literally dealing in illegal gems. And even then, the chances would be like 10% because he didn't really do much in the way of the family business.
Let's put it this way. They won't give a fuck about what your background is. They just see, fresh meat. We can use you for a sacrifice. Don't ask what the sacrifice is,
I mean,
because
I
you're
was,
not gonna like it.
I was just gonna answer with Chromatic Orb.
Pocket orb, shasha.
I mean, to be fair, it's literally like a grapefruit-sized orb of elemental energy. I think that's a good rebuttal to, hey man, you know where you are? But yeah, I'm fine
What's
with
your
it.
colors? What's your colors? What's your colors, bro?
The elemental spectrum. but outside of that, I'm gonna let anyone else have a scene because Daedalus is just preparing spells and his items and stuff in the lab.
Okay. Basically, and I'll just flavor this. Anki's kind of teaching you all some like underworld lingo about like if you hear someone go chirp chirp, someone's about to get fucking shanked in the like jugular. And it's not going to be a quick death either. It's going to be probably prolonged. But we'll switch over to our beloved Pussycat and our beloved Hothead.
Mm.
Hey guys, what you talking about?
I
I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, let's find out, shall we?
So there's like an adjacent room, right?
There's plenty of room. I mean,
Okay.
It's a big fucking facility. It's a fucking
Sure.
factory.
Sure. So Belky will guide. I almost said Iapetus. I'll guide Afira out into like it's the side room so we can have a chat. And just say, so about yesterday. I get the whole trying to keep a stiff upper lip and what have you. But you can't bullshit a bullshitter. Half my personality is flirting. Come on, we know this. And she just smiles. What's
There's a
eating
little
you
bit
up?
of a smirk.
What's eating you?
We're not. She stops for just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we turn around, we're fighting for our lives.
Yeah. Seems like it.
I came to this school to experience love, to cook, and to show my friends my love by cooking for them. Why are we constantly fighting for our lives? Why the fuck do I feel safer standing next to Archon the Cruel than in this damn school? You saw the way the dean was talking to us yesterday. The motherfucker was treating us like soldiers. He practically gave us a hit.
I mean, you want the honest answer? Or
It's you and me. Go ahead.
one, they're trying to cover their own asses. Two, they're fucking inept. So they think, oh, well, you guys made headway, you go do it. You little peons who pay us money to teach your asses. Go forth, my soldiers, go do my bidding. Yeah, except we've got free will, and here's the thing, Pussycat. You don't have to come with us if you're scared. No one's gonna fault you for that. Like, you know that, right?
It's not me that I'm afraid for.
Uh-huh.
It's you. It's Daedalus. It's Salus, Goldbloom, Iapetus. You are the ones that I am afraid of something happening to. You are the ones that I am terrified that something is going to happen to.
Pussycat, did you not hear me when I offered that somebody die in order to figure out what was going on? You realize I wasn't offering up any of you all, right? Like, I always knew my life was going to be kind of short. So, I am living in the moment as it is. I already got petrified. I got dealt kind of a raw hand in a number of times. However, it's fine. I'm not gonna put anybody else in danger, but I'm sure as fuck there to back them up. I ain't worried about May. Life is way too short to worry about May. And as far as Specs is concerned, I'm about to beat his ass.
I think that he's going too far, but I get what he's doing. He is the wise man. It's
No,
his
he's
job
not.
to see the threats that none of us see coming.
Listen, I think he thinks that he's the wise man. However, he's suggesting breaking the Hoblin Goblin out of fucking prison. That boy has lost his mind.
There was a glimmer. Granted, he did lose his mind, but there was something still in there. Remember, we did talk him down.
Yeah, but he is a different person now since he's had that robot thing on him. He is not the same Specs that we got to know early on in the year. He keeps secrets, he makes plans behind our back. Like, there are times where I don't think I can trust him very well.
We all have our secrets. Some of us are just better at keeping them, but I get your point.
Listen, I can read minds. Don't do it to you all out of courtesy. However, I'm coming real close to my limit.
Wait, you can read minds?
Yeah, you didn't know? Yeah, it's a trick Dad taught me.
Seems like it'd be useful for somebody in his line of work.
Yeah, well, him and me both. I'm not particularly worried about going to this purgatory, underground, whatever the fuck we're going to. All I know is if Specs goes, he's gonna get us killed. You and I both know that he is going to be a major liability.
So what are you saying? Split the teams? Send one team down there, send another team, his team, a different direction?
I'm tempted to ask Red to stay too. Partly to look after him, and partly because, oh, that sweet little puppy is so innocent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to burst her bubble, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Rocksteady, I mean, he can probably handle it. I can't really tell what's going on between those ears of his, so I have no fucking idea. But he is our bruiser, so we'll be fine. Between you, me, and, the big guy, we should be okay. Especially if Ankh is coming with us.
Yeah. The big thing is, the way that he spoke is each one of us has to find the entrance on our own, almost like just because he knows how to get there doesn't mean that we're going to be able to get there.
I think he's going to open the door for us, basically. So come on, tell me what's on your mind. I don't want to have to cast spells and whatnot. I want you to actually level with me here.
Part of what's going on is I see everybody going through so much, and it feels like I can't help them. Like, my entire thing is I stand in the way.
No,
I take the hit so you don't have to.
Belky will take Afira's hand and, clutch it in both of hers. You don't stand in the way.
Against some kind of a threat? Yes. That is what I do. I am the guardian of this group. I stand in the way. I take the hit so that none of you have to. But whenever it comes to battles of the mind, battles of the soul, I can't fight that fight. I can't fight that fight for Daedalus. I can't fight that fight for Iapetus, for Salus, for you, and that tears me up on the inside.
Sweetheart, you can't just say, I'm the only one who can do this. I want you to know I'm kind of pretty tough myself. And she'll playfully give a very gentle shoulder punch to Afira with a big smile on her face.
Oh no, believe you me, I know how strong you are. You
Yeah.
beat the shit out of me in the Coliseum.
Well, yeah, I tried to take it easy on you, but you know. So, here's the thing you gotta remember. You're not the point guy all the time. Let someone else take over. We're not handing out roles like it's a bakery, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to make this some amalgamation all together, figuring out where we are and what's going on. But listen, you can take a hit, I can take a hit. Fucking Rocksteady can take a hit. I'm pretty sure Red can take a hit, but Sully and Specs are going down the second they get mollywopped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let us help each other. Remember when we were fighting on the bridge, I didn't have my weapons on me because I was in, you know, nice clothes and didn't think to bring weapons to a cook-off?
Yeah,
I
remember
was,
that.
yeah, I was support. Because I can do that too. And I know for a fact, you can do support. Specs can do support. Specs is also real good at big spells that go boom boom, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to be fluid. Kind of like you and Indare. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You felt so constrained being just one thing that you ended up leaning into both things. We can be a bunch of things at once. We don't have to just be the protector, the smart guy. Listen, I'm no slouch when it comes to like intelligence things, even though I seem kind of stupid some days. I have my moments. Don't get me wrong. I have my moments. But we can all pull our own weight. Don't feel pigeonholed. That's what I'm saying. Besides, we always have each other. You, me, Red, Specs, Sully, fucking Rocksteady, all of us have each other's backs. We are in this together. Even if we want to beat the shit out of each other sometimes.
I mean, just because we don't doesn't mean that we don't care for each other.
Exactly. So, have I assuaged your worries even a little bit?
Some of them, yeah.
Okay. What else is on your mind?
So many things. But I think that at the very least, this is, I don't want them worrying too much about us. I think at the very least for right now, we're good. Just one thing.
Yeah?
For whatever reason, going forward, I can only ask this once.
Okay. I'm listening.
If I tell you to run, don't question it. Don't fight it. Grab everybody and run. Okay?
You know I can say the same thing to you, right?
I know.
Okay. Would you trust me?
I'd get most of them away, but I'd come back to drag you away.
Then you best remember that when I come back to grab you by the tail and drag you out of whatever cave we're in, or situation, or whatever it is this time around. And she gives a warm smile.
Afira gives a smile. She reaches an arm around Belky's shoulder, around her neck.
Yep.
And pulls her in, forehead to forehead.
Mm-hmm.
And for just a moment, stays there.
Daw.
Gotcha.
Belky will give...
She said, gotcha.
Belky will smile and nuzzle into Afira. And she'll lift her head and give her a kiss on the forehead. Listen here, you big sap. How dare. You're ruining my image. I'm supposed to be, open to everybody.
Well, what you and I do behind closed doors is none of their business, right?
Is that our story for when we come back? Why it stole you away?
I mean, who's to say? Let them think what they're going to think. I mean, it's not the first time that you've dragged me away. I mean, after the mishap with the teleportation circle, you dragged me off. I do believe that I've spent a number of times in either your room or you've spent a number of times in my room.
Well, yeah. And the last time you were about catatonic, so, I worry about you.
And I hate that I make you worry.
All of you all make me worry, which is a new thing for me, and I don't really like it. And she's smiling bright.
Ruining that image, huh?
Yeah. How dare you? And she leans in for a small smooch.
She'd return it.
Hey.
Ooh.
I'm starting to rub off on you, you know? And who knows? Maybe you're rubbing off on me just a little bit.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe I convert to the love goddess and see how it goes.
Oh, I have so many things to teach you about her.
I'll have a listen, but I'm not making any promises. Anyway, let's go see what they're up to, okay? You feeling better?
Yeah. And as they're starting to walk away, Afira would wrap an arm around Belky's waist as they're walking, and the final thing that she would say as they pass through the door, she does accept love in all its forms.
Oh, sounds good to me. And Belky will put an arm around her shoulders, and then with her arm that's around, will reach up and give ear scritches.
There'd be the slightest bit of a purr as they
Aw.
return back.
Also, I need y'all to remember, Belky is like 5'4". Belky is short. Afira is probably much taller than Belky is.
I've been imagining that the entire time.
Yeah, Belky is a short stack.
It's adorable.
Indare is about 6'2". Afira is about 6'4", 6'5" at this stage.
Oh fuck! I was drinking. Holy shit! That's a big kitty cat.
So their mother is about 7 to 7.5 feet tall.
Oh god.
Their father is 3 feet tall.
Yup.
Aww.
Little munchkin cat.
I love it. I think this would probably be a good time to say we will conclude tonight's session.
Yay.
That was such a good scene.
Yay, I'm glad you liked it.
Look at everybody starting to get back. Things are picking up again.
Yeah.
Fuckers are so wholesome.
Oh, wait till the degeneracy starts.
Starts? What you mean starts?
This was the free trial.
This is a free trial.
I mean, in the great words of Grandpa, but why buy the DVD when you can watch the commercials for free?
What?
It's a Boondocks reference.
I get it.
That being said,
I get it.
That being said, a few of us actually do need to kind of start hopping out real fast. So, do we want to start going around the horn?
Yeah, I'll start off. Hi, everybody. Twitch, Twitter, JFrost747. Find me Sundays and other days on Tuesdays. Twitch.tv/FortingTart. World Chat Sun, Rascals and Ravnica. We back, baby. Let's fucking go. Mandatory sewer level. Also, fucking stop resisting arrest. God, I fucking hate the Orzhov, but fuck the Gruul clans. And fuck the mold. And fuck paperwork. Bitch-ass bureaucrats. But yeah, that's basically it for me. Honey.
Yes?
Catch.
Ah! What? I got it! I got it! Okay. Alright. Whew! Caught it. Okay. Great. Hi, I'm Spoiled Chestnut. Again, I am a figment of your imagination. Have you been drinking your water today? Have you had your medication? Have you been eating? Have you been getting up to exercise? I know we've been here for a couple hours. Go stretch them fucking legs. Anyway, Wiley, go.
Well, you can find me at Wiley as Willie on Twitch. I play randomizers and sometimes roguelikes. Might start playing Vampire Survivors on stream because that shit is fun. Other than that, you can find me at Fighting Tarts channel every other Tuesdays for that Ravnica game. And every other Sunday for Co-op Zelda with Helix Sucks. I make music. You can find that stuff on YouTube. Missions on Ko-Fi. CG, where can we not find you? Hi, I'm CG. You can find me on all those things that Willie mentioned. Also on Sundays on Fighting Tarts channel where we play War of the Shattered Sun. And other things that I can't remember off the top of my head. Hi, where can we find you?
Hello, you can find me here and on Instagram at Zymosite and pretty much everywhere else at Zyme or Zyminess. You can find me trying to beat Onimusha 3 on Wednesdays and maybe a little bit on Tuesday. You can find me trying to beat the Dark Aeon so I can summon penance. On Mondays, you can find me back at this channel, at Burnout Vaughn's channel, for Wizard Sibs, where we're playing Resident Evil 6. And Fridays playing fighting games and beat 'em ups. And then every other Saturday, I am here yet again with these lovely beans. As you know, we try to graduate and also not die. But yeah, that's me. Bob, it is you.
Greetings and salutations, Francis. I am Shadow Dancer Bob. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, YouTube, not Tumblr, fuck Tumblr, at Shadow Dancer Bob. I played Indare and Afira at the same time because I multitask. Sundays, weekends, we've got the Maelstrom, we've got the Murder Cave doing Helldivers, we've messed with the new War Bond. It's a lot of fun. Arkoff murdered a lot of people. But, you know, that's normal for a murdery cavey game. Vaughn, where can people find you? What do you have going on? Because I know that the death pool is calling you.
Yes, I know. Hi, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Blue Sky at BurnoutVaughn. This week we have Wizard Sibs, maybe No Love War Extra, Know Those Who Wander. We are going to raid my good friend, who is also named Seamus, but goes by Butslord23, because he's doing Extra Life this year, raising money for children's hospitals. So, raid message is going to be, do it for the kids, and if you can, maybe drop a few bits there. Again, it's just for charity, and he's doing it for the kids. But thank you all for coming out. We'll talk to you again in 2 weeks' time. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.